Chapter 1689. Sima Yue was deep in thought as she watched the commotion below. After waiting for the Yuan clan's young ladies to leave, she called out her scarlet bees to follow them from afar. Then, she called for the waiter to settle the bill and left. She strolled leisurely on the streets before arriving at an inn and checking in. The waiter brought her to the best room and left. She entered the room alone. She came to the window and pushed it open. She could see the inn not far away, the largest and most luxurious inn in Fortune City. The few young ladies of the Yuan clan lived there. She wanted to see who this Yuan family's young miss was trying to kill. Nothing happened during the day. Scarlet Bee said that the Yuan clan had sent people to investigate. In the middle of the night, the Scarlet Bees sent news that the Yuan clansmen had all moved out. Looks like the other party is very powerful. They actually paid so much attention to him. She must have offended him badly. She muttered softly, and her figure slowly disappeared. West of the city, in the civilian district, a figure was being chased by a group of people. From the way he staggered, it was clear that he was heavily injured. The people who were chasing after him quickly surrounded him. Liang Chu Xing, run. Let's see where you can run to today. Yuan Qing walked to the front of the crowd and stared at the man in the middle. Tisk, so many of you were hunting me down, and you even spent a few months hunting me down. In the end, you still managed to win despite being outnumbered. If news of this were to spread, your Yuan clan would be humiliated. That Liang Chu Xing was heavily injured and his body was somewhat weak. However, from his calm and composed appearance, it was clear that he did not place the Yuan family in his eyes. With just the few of us, do you think we can spread the news? Yuan Qing snorted coldly. As long as you die, I can avenge my elder sister. What do you mean by taking revenge on your elder sister? I'm the one who's at a disadvantage. You've really blinded me. I've been looking for water to wash my eyes for the past few months. TSK. It's really unbearable. Liang Chu Xing said it very painfully, as if he had really suffered some grievances. Get lost. You look at my sister's jade-like body, and you still dare to say that it's dirty your eyes? Today, I will kill you and use your blood to wash away my sister's shame. Yuan Qing said as he condensed his spirit energy and attacked Liang Chu Xing. Tisk, you're so ugly that you stain my eyes, and you want to kill me to silence me. The members of the Yuan family were indeed good. However, I want to know, why didn't Yuan Yuqiu come after me personally? Could it be that she was so ashamed that she committed suicide at home? Although Liang Chu Xing was injured, he was still able to deal with Yuan Qing with ease and was even able to tease the Yuan family's eldest Mississippi. My elder sister is busy every day. She doesn't have time to bother with you. Yuan Lily walked in. But we're different. We have plenty of time to waste with you. Second sister, it's not worth wasting time with this kind of person. Today, he would die here. Second sister, come and help me. Yuan Qing turned around and called out to Yuan Lily. You step back. Yuan Lily said, and condensed her spiritual power to attack. Yuan Qing took the opportunity to retreat to the side. Yuan Li's strength seemed to be much more powerful than Yuan Qing's. Liang Chu Xing, who had been fighting with ease just now, no longer spoke. He was also somewhat powerless in the battle, and towards the end, several more wounds were added to his body. Bang! PFFF, Liang Chu Xing was hit by the spiritual skill and fell from the sky. He fiercely fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. Yuan Lily's body floated down and landed in front of Liang Chu Xing. She stared at him coldly. Liang Chu Xing, the famous flower thief in the 5th state, will be buried here today. What a pity. If second Miss Yuan feels that it's a pity, why don't you follow me? I will definitely let you enjoy the comfort of being the supreme being in the world. There are also various difficult positions. Oh, with your figure, you should be able to do it. Liang Chu Xing covered his chest and said with a smile. Bastard. Yuan Lily was embarrassed and angry. She took out a sword and stabbed it into his stomach. Second sister, you should chop off this kind of person's penis. Yuan Qing said from the side. You're right. Even if you go to hell, you can only be a ghost with a penis. Yuan Lily took out her sword and gestured at his lower body. Only then did Liang Chu Xing's expression change. He no longer joked and shouted towards the sky. This friend, you've also watched the show for so long. Seeing that I've acted out a good play for you, why don't you give me a hand? Liang Chu Xing, there's no one here. Don't try to divert our attention and use it to escape. You won't be able to escape today. Yuan Qing shouted. Second sister, castrate him. Yuan Lily nodded and raised the sword in her hand to stab down. Accept the punishment. Her lips curled into a cold smile as she stabbed down. Ah! Liang Chu Xing subconsciously screamed. How could a flower thief pick flowers without a weapon? Friend! Friend! Liang Chu Xing saw the sword fall and screamed, his voice changing. Sigh, a light sigh sounded in his ears. That voice was very soft, and if one didn't pay attention, they wouldn't be able to hear it. But this sigh was like the sound of nature in Liang Chu Xing's ears. The other party was willing to make a sound, which meant that they wouldn't just stand by and watch. The sword fell between his legs, but the expected pain didn't come. He raised his head slightly and saw that the shining sword was indeed inserted in that place. How could there be no pain? Spatial distortion. Yuan Lily and Yuan Qing shouted at the same time. Aha! Liang Chu Xing hurriedly retreated a few steps. Sure enough, he saw that his lower body was still fine, and the sword didn't touch his pants. Who's here? Yuan Qing looked around, but didn't feel any fluctuations. The others also looked around vigilantly, but they couldn't feel any fluctuations. Ah, second miss. A servant girl suddenly shouted. What's wrong? Yuan Lily glared at the servant girl in dissatisfaction. There was still an unknown person spying on them. How could she shout at this time? Second miss, he's gone. The servant girl pointed at the place where Liang Chu Xing was, but there was no one there. Where is he? Yuan Qing shouted. He was still here just a moment ago. We didn't notice how he disappeared. The servant girl knew that Yuan Qing's temper wasn't good, so she spoke carefully. Sure enough, Yuan Qing slapped the servant girl's face. There are so many people here, how could you not notice how he disappeared? What is the Yuan family raising trash like you for? Third miss. The servant girl lowered her head, feeling wronged. The two young misses had the best spatial talent, but they didn't notice, so how could she? Alright, third sister, Liang Chu Xing was taken away by someone using the space. Yuan Lily said in a deep voice. Second sister, your spatial attainments are so high, but that person was able to take someone away without making a sound. Could it be that it was an old guy who came? Yuan Qing asked. I don't know who it was. To be able to hide in the space for so long, he definitely isn't an ordinary person. He saved Liang Chu Xing, so it will be difficult to kill him next time. It's really infuriating. Let's go back. Chapter 1690. Bang! A certain someone fell to the ground, grimacing in pain. I say, can't you be a little gentler? Liang Chu Xing lay on the ground, not even having the strength to move. Sima Yuyue stood beside him and looked at his injured appearance. She said in disdain, You're a rapist. Do you need others to be polite to you? Only then did Liang Chu Xing see Sima Yuyue's appearance clearly. He was stunned. He had always thought that the person who had saved him was a man, and he should be very old. Otherwise, how could he have taken him away so quietly? He didn't expect to meet such a young and beautiful lady. However, shouldn't this kind of little girl hate people like him? Why would he save her? Could it be that he was more handsome than Pannon? Sure enough, he was too handsome and charming. Even the little girl couldn't help but save him. I think I should have waited for second Miss Yuan to make her move before I made my move. Sima Yue glared at him and said faintly. Hee hee, little sister, you're a good person, you won't. Liang Chu Xing smiled flatteringly. Is it written on my face that I'm a good person? Sima Yue did not want to talk to him. She sat down at the table and poured herself a glass of water. You have one night. Leave before dawn. Little sister, there's no need to be so heartless, right? Hiss, he moved his hand, but it affected his wound, causing him to grimace in pain. Heartless? Don't tell me that I have to keep a flower thief by my side for it to not be called body and mind? Sima Yu glanced at him. If you eat the pill now, you'll still have the strength to leave before dawn. I don't have any more pills. After being chased by them for such a long time, he had already consumed all of his healing pills. The Yuan clan is indeed troublesome. Liang Chu Xing looked at her pleadingly. Little sister, look at how pitiful Big Brother is, give me some pills to eat. The Yuan family is the #1 family in the 5th state. You actually dared to peek at Miss Yuan. You are quite bold. Sima Yue held the teacup. She didn't say whether she would give it to him or not. I'm not going to see her. She was the one who showed it to me. Liang Chu Xing said aggrievedly. I had been sleeping there for a long time. She wanted to go to the hot spring to take a bath, and she even said that I wanted to pick her. TSK, don't you know how pretty she is? Me? Pick her? I wouldn't take it if it was offered to me. However, the Yuan clan refused to give up. I've been on the run for 2 years, but I still haven't shaken them off. Sigh, if Master knew about this, he would definitely scold me for not learning enough. Sima Yue was shocked. She had learned of the Yuan family's strength during this period of time. This person was actually able to escape for 2 years. It seemed like his strength was not to be underestimated. However, he was really noisy. A medicinal pill was thrown into his mouth, which immediately shut him up. After a while, he continued, this pill of yours is really effective. Little sister, you're willing to give me such a good pill. You have a good heart. Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him. She did not tell him that this was the worst healing pill she had. Little sister. Oh. What did you give me? Liang Chu Xing was just about to speak when another medicinal pill flew into his mouth. It was not a healing pill that he was familiar with. It's a medicinal pill that will calm you down. Seeing his eyes widen in pain, she gave a rare explanation. It's good for your body, but it will make you fall asleep. Before she could finish speaking, Liang Chu Xing's head tilted to the side and he fell asleep. Sima Yue glanced at him, then turned back to the bed to meditate. As for him, he would just stay on the ground. In any case, this kind of flower thief would definitely have thick skin. When Liang Chu Xing woke up, the sky was already bright. He had not slept so comfortably for a long time, which made him feel a little absent-minded. You're awake? If you're awake, then leave. A cold voice woke him up. He sat up and found that he was still lying on the ground. However, his injuries had already healed a lot. He did not expect her medicinal pill to be so effective. Little sister, look at how seriously injured I am. Let me hide for a while. He gave Sima Yue a charming smile, trying to charm her. Sima Yue did not say anything. She used the metal attribute to condense a mirror in front of him. Seeing the sinister face in the mirror, his smile immediately froze. So ugly. I've been disfigured. AI, how will I be able to charm those girls in the future? He howled. However, Sima Yue could tell that he was not really worried. Little sister, look at my face. If I go out, I'll definitely scare those girls. How about you let me go after I've healed? A certain person shamelessly said. Sima Yue did not say anything and just stared straight at him. Liang Chu Xing shrunk his neck from being stared at and said in a wronged manner, all right, I'll leave. However, can I know little sister's name? I can repay you in the future. If you don't take me, then I'll be very grateful. Let's go. Liang Chu Xing stood up and his body swayed. His injuries were still very serious. He slowly walked towards the door. Before he opened it, he heard Sima Yoyue's voice. Wait. He happily turned around, thinking that she had finally softened her heart and wanted him to stay. However, he heard her say, window. She didn't even want him to go through the door. She was really ruthless. However, Sima Yuyue threw a bottle to him. He opened it and smelled it. It was a high-quality medicinal pill and there were quite a few of it. Thanks. He walked to the window and turned around to look at her. You're participating in the Yuan family's glazed gathering, right? Sima Yuyue did not answer him. He smiled and turned around to jump out of the window. After waiting for a while, she came to the window and could no longer see Liang Chuxing's shadow. She did not know if he could successfully escape, but it shouldn't be a problem. They had not been able to kill him for 2 years, so this bit of trouble should not be a problem for him. After another 2 days, the Scarlet Bees following Yuan Lili and the others did not send any news of Liang Chuxing being killed. It seemed that he had successfully escaped. She was not interested in Yuan Lili and the others, so she checked out of the room and prepared to fly to Kalmar City. This beautiful lady, are you going to Kalmar City? Do you want to rent a flying beast? Our flying beast is fast and stable. It can also find the way to Kalmar City, so you don't have to worry about going astray. It's also very cheap. One trip will only cost 100 high-grade crystals. A man stopped her at the city gate and enthusiastically promoted. Sima Yuyue thought about it and nodded in agreement. The man immediately called over a giant bird. The giant bird carried a room on its back. It looked fancy on the outside, but she did not know what it was like inside. Young lady, please. The man made a gesture of invitation. Sima Yuyue jumped up and flew up. Just as she entered the room, the man also sat on it and patted the back of the flying beast. The flying beast spread its wings and flew away. After flying out of Fu Lai City, Sima Yuyue looked at the person sitting outside and said, Liang Chuxing, why haven't you been caught yet? Chapter 1691. Love. The man sitting outside was stunned for a moment. Then, he ran into the carriage and took off a human skin mask. He looked at Sima Yuyue and asked, how did you recognize me? With that pair of eyes of yours, you look at everyone with a perverted look. Sima Yuyue leaned on the chair. Where did you get this? I borrowed it from a friend. Liang Chuxing said with a smile, this is all thanks to your pill, allowing me to live to see my friend. Really? I wonder what kind of person would have a friend like you. Birds of a feather flock together? Sima Yuyue asked. That friend of mine is a gentleman. Liang Chuxing tried to correct his friend's reputation. Sima Yuyue rolled her eyes at him. How could the person who was with him be a gentleman? However, she didn't continue to harp on this. Instead, she asked, tell me, why are you looking for me? What's his purpose? What purpose do I have? Aren't you thinking about your life-saving grace and leading the way for you? Liang Chuxing said. Really? If you don't say it now, you won't want to hear it later, Sima Yuyue said. Liang Chuxing was silent for a moment, then said, help me enter the city. Kalmar City? Why? Sima Yuyue looked at him with interest. Kalmar City has been very strict recently. Normal people can't get in at all. But having an invitation is different. Liang Chuxing said. Why should I help you? You are a dangerous person. If I bring you into the city, won't I be going against the Yuan clan? I can't afford to offend them. Sima Yuyue sneered. As long as we enter the city, I will leave you. I won't bring you any trouble. Isn't the Yuan clan hunting you down? How dare you sneak under their noses? Don't tell me that the most dangerous place is the safest place. In the face of absolute power, this sentence is useless. Besides, we don't know each other. Why should I help a rapist like you? Sima Yuyue shrugged and disagreed. If you want to help me, you can state your conditions. As long as I can do it, I will definitely do it. Liang Chu Xing said. Sima Yue smiled and did not reply. Obviously, his condition did not interest her. Liang Chu Xing hesitated for a moment before saying, "If you bring me into the city, I'll exchange a piece of information with you." What news? Sima Yue saw that he was hesitating. It seemed like this news was more important than a request. A venerable emperor's tomb is in the 5th state, Liang Chu Xing said. Di Zun's mausoleum. Sima Yue murmured softly. She was not as excited as he had expected. That really is the tomb of the venerable sovereign, I can swear on it. How did you find out? A few years ago, I was traveling with a friend and accidentally fell into a mausoleum. It wasn't easy for us to get out. So, it's very dangerous inside. Sima Yue said, "Since you're with your friend, how do you know that no one has gone to the mausoleum yet? If someone has already gone there before you, then your information is worthless. That won't happen. She won't tell anyone about this." Liang Chu Xing said with certainty. Are you so sure? Because she's dead. The Yuan family did it? Sima Yue asked, "Is this related to you going to Kangmar City?" Liang Chu Xing did not expect that she would be able to guess his purpose with just a few words. He nodded. I also just received the news that she was killed by the eldest daughter of the Yuan family. Her body was thrown into a mass grave. Since she's already dead, what are you going to do there? Fight the Yuan family? Sima Yue sized him up. If he had that kind of strength, he would not have been chased for 2 years. I'm going to collect her body. Although there was still a smile on Liang Chu Xing's face, there was still a trace of sadness in his eyes. So, she's your soulmate. Sima Yue said, "Are you really a flower thief?" I've never seen such an affectionate and righteous flower thief before. Liang Chu Xing restrained all his emotions, his face showing his previous cynicism. I've always been so loyal, otherwise why would there be so many good sisters willing to follow me? Is that so? How about it, are you willing to make this deal? Sima Yue crossed her legs, the fingers of her right hand gently tapping on her knee. She slowly said, she was caught because she knew the location of the emperor's mausoleum. The Yuan family wanted it, but she was infatuated with you and was unwilling to say it. In the end, she was tortured to death by the Yuan family. Am I right? You guessed right. Since that's the case, why are you using this information to exchange with me? You have to know that this is putting the life of your soulmate on the line. Are you willing to do that? Sima Yue asked. I don't have any other choice. I received news last night that she has already been dead for 3 days. If I don't collect her body, she might not even have a skeleton left. Liang Chu Xing said. What an affectionate flower thief. Sima Yue chuckled. What's her name? Yun Lan. Sima Yue's fingers paused. The eldest daughter of the Yun family who was exterminated more than 10 years ago? You know her? Liang Chu Xing was surprised. Sima Yue nodded. I've heard of her. I promised to bring you into the city and accompany you to find her skeleton. You don't have to pay me anything. Liang Chu Xing frowned. Why? I like her, is that okay? Sima Yue said, since we've reached an agreement, you can leave now. Now, I'm your employer. Liang Chu Xing stared at her for a while, then turned to leave and sat in the driver's seat again. Sima Yue waited for him to leave, then took out a stack of documents and flipped to the middle page. She knew about Yun Lan, not because her family was exterminated, but because of the information sent by Xian Yuan Pavilion. Although Yu Kuluo had concealed her identity, she did not hide her tracks, so the information sent by Xian Yuan Pavilion included some of the things she had experienced and the people she had interacted with. And Yun Lan was in the list. Although she had only spoken a few words for Yu Kuluo when she was being bullied, it was still a token of her sincerity, and Yu Kuluo was indebted to her. Now that Yun Lan's corpse was exposed in the wilderness, as her mother's daughter, she could help collect her corpse, which could be considered as repaying her mother's kindness. However, this journey would not be so smooth. The Yuan family would not let them take her corpse away so easily. 2 days later, Sima Yue and Liang Chu Xing arrived at Kangmar City. They dismounted from the flying beast, and the flying beast flew back without waiting for their orders. Liang Chu Xing put on the human skin mask from before, and returned to his previous appearance. Let's go in. Wait. Sima Yue pulled him. You're going in just like that? What else can I do? If you do this, I bet that you'll be caught before you're even 10 meters away from the city. Sima Yue said. You have a way? Liang Chu Xing looked at her. Sima Yue took out a pill. Eat this, I guarantee that your parents won't recognize you. Chapter 1692. The corner of Liang Chu Xing's mouth twitched. He took the pill and sniffed it before taking it away in disgust. What kind of pill is this? Why is it so smelly? The transformation pill can temporarily change your appearance. This is a pill that I recently researched. Sima Yue beamed at him. Eat it, this way we can go in. But it's so smelly. Liang Chu Xing frowned, feeling very disgusted. It's up to you whether you want to eat or not. Sima Yue did not persuade him. If you don't want to eat, I'll go in by myself. After saying that, he turned around and was about to leave. I'll eat it, okay? Liang Chu Xing pinched his nose with his hand, closed his eyes, and swallowed the medicinal pill with a look of generosity. Sima Yue saw that his eyebrows were so furrowed that they could squash a fly. She pursed her lips and snickered. When Liang Chu Xing opened his eyes, she immediately hid her smile, but the smile in her eyes did not disappear. Liang Chu Xing naturally saw the smile in her eyes and snorted. You're not playing with me, right? Why didn't I feel anything at all? Did my appearance really change? Sima Yue took out a mirror and placed it in front of him. An unfamiliar face appeared in the mirror. His facial features were ordinary, and it was hard to find him in a crowd. Not only that, but even his aura had changed. He reached out and touched the left side of his face. The person in the mirror also touched the left side of his face. Only then did he believe that his appearance had really changed. Amazing. It actually worked. He reached out to pinch his own face, and sighed with amazement. How did you refine this pill? Are there any more? Can you give me a little more? This way, I won't be afraid of being hunted down if I fail to pluck the flower. Sima Yue smiled at him. You can have the shape-shifting elixir or pick the flowers. I'll chop off your D**CK first, then you can have as many form transformation pills as you want. Since we know each other, I'll give you a 15% discount. Liang Chu Xing hurriedly retreated a few steps, his hands placed in front of him as he looked at her vigilantly, the corner of his mouth twitching. Little sister, you're so ruthless, you want me to die without any descendants. Let's go. It's time to enter the city. Sima Yue ignored him and walked into the city. When she arrived at the city gate, a guard came forward to stop her. I'm sorry, Mississippi Kangmar City doesn't allow outsiders to enter. Do you have an invitation? Sima Yue took out the invitation card. The guard took it and opened it. When he saw the name inside, he looked at her in surprise and then respectfully handed the invitation card back to her. So it's Miss Yue. My master has been waiting for you for a long time. Please come to the place we have arranged for you. The guard waved behind him and someone immediately ran over. Bring Miss Yue to the courtyard where she is staying. When the man heard that it was Sima Yue, he was stunned for a second, but soon made a gesture of invitation. Sima Yue followed the guard and left. Liang Chu Xing followed. When he entered the city, he even saw his portrait on the city wall. It's so ugly, he whispered, causing Sima Yue to give him a sidelong glance. Liang Chu Xing curled his lips. It was really ugly. He was handsome and elegant, so how could he be painted with such a wretched appearance? If it wasn't for someone leading the way, she really wanted to slap him twice. No matter how she looked at him, he was wretched, but he was actually so narcissistic. The guard brought them into the city and got on an arranged beast carriage. After driving for more than an hour, they arrived at a quiet courtyard. My miss heard that Miss Yuyue likes peace and quiet, so she arranged this courtyard. It's very quiet here and not far from the city center. The guard brought them in. The pavilions inside were arranged properly and complemented each other. It looked really good. There are maids and guards here. If Miss Yuyue needs anything, you can tell them. Okay, thank you. The guard brought her to see the housekeeper of the courtyard and then left. The housekeeper was a woman called Ru Shui. She bowed to Sima Yuyue and said, Miss Yuyue, please follow me. I will bring you to the small courtyard where you live. Sima Yuyue followed her to the courtyard where she lived. Looking at her room, from the moment she entered until now, she found that the decorations were all according to her preferences. There was nothing that she disliked. Were all these ordered by Miss Yuan? She asked Ru Shui. Yes. Miss Yuan knew that you were coming and specially asked us to arrange this courtyard. Ru Shui wanted to make her Miss presence known, but unfortunately, she met someone who didn't buy it. Sima Yuyue only nodded. I'm a bit tired and want to rest. Ru Shui seemed to have something to say, but when she heard her words, she could only swallow her words and said, Then miss, you rest well. This servant won't disturb you. Thank you, Steward Ru. Oh right, Miss Yuyue, is this your only guard? Do you need to arrange a separate courtyard for him? Ru Shui asked. It's just him. There's no need to trouble yourself. Just let him find a room to stay in. Sima Yuyue said. Okay. Ru Shui arranged a room for Liang Chu Xing and then said that if there was anything, he could call her at any time and left. Liang Chu Xing came to Sima Yuyue's room and kept staring at her. Are there flowers on my face? Sima Yuyue glared at him. Liang Chu Xing sat opposite her and sighed. You are Sima Yuyue? Why, can't I? Sure. Why can't I? Liang Chu Xing said with a smile, I heard your name before and heard that you are very beautiful. I even wanted to pick you up when I had time. I didn't expect to meet you so soon. Peng, the teacup in Sima Yuyue's hand directly hit his face. Liang Chu Xing couldn't dodge in time and was hit on the forehead. The tea spilled all over his face. Pfff, he spat out a tea leaf and wiped the tea on his face. He said innocently, You don't have to be so agitated, right? I can be even more agitated. Do you want to try? Sima Yuyue sneered. She took out a small knife and waved it twice. Cough, don't. Liang Chu Xing quickly waved his hand. I was just thinking about it. I didn't really dare to do anything. Don't be angry, Actually, you can try. Do you want to pick me first or do I want to castrate you first? Why don't we have a competition, how about it? The bright blade reflected the light and Liang Chu Xing felt that her smile was even colder. Try what? I didn't say anything just now. I don't have any thoughts. He pretended to be stupid and quickly changed the topic, asking, When are we going to find Yunlan's corpse? Do you know where the mass grave is? West of the city. Why is this mass grave not outside the city but inside the city? Chapter 1693. Why are you in the city? Isn't this related to the Yuan clan's brutality? Liang Chu Xing ridiculed. It is said that people often die, and in order to punish those who died, they specially opened up a place to pile up the corpses. Over time, it became a mass grave. It turned out that the Yuan clan was such a brutal clan. No wonder the young ladies they raised were all arrogant and despotic. We are in the east of the city, and the mass grave is in the west. I'm afraid it will take some effort to retrieve the body. Sima Yuyue said, but that's not the most important thing. I'm just afraid that the Yuan family will send someone to wait there to catch you. Liang Chu Xing also felt that this was very likely. If it wasn't to attract me here, how could the news of Yunlan's death have spread? However, I guess they only know that someone discovered the tomb with Yunlan, but they don't know that it was me. Otherwise, Yuan Lily and the others wouldn't have tried to kill me in Fulai City. I think so. But it's also possible that they know it's you, but Yuan Lily and the others outside don't. Sima Yue said, no matter what the reason is, you'd better not show up in your original appearance. Speaking of which, how long can your form transformation pill last? Liang Chu Xing asked. Take one every 10 days. When you return to your original appearance, eat it and maintain your current appearance. If you eat it after changing back to your original appearance, you will have a different appearance. Can't become like this again? The appearance is random. Of course, it can't become like this, Sima Yue said. But now everyone knows that I'm your guard. If I go out and get caught, won't you also be implicated? Liang Chu Xing still had a bit of conscience and did not plan to drag her into the water. I'll check out the situation there first. If there's an ambush, I'll send someone to lure them away. Then, you can go and collect her body. Of course, if you have a better plan, we can discuss it. Your plan is pretty good. I'll go check it out first to see if there's an ambush there. Liang Chu Xing said as he was about to leave. That's enough. You stay here. You're such a big target, you'll probably be discovered before you even get close. Sima Yue stopped him. Don't tell me you're going. Although Liang Chu Xing said this, he did not intend to let her go. Her strength seemed to be lower than his, so it would be easier for her to be caught if she went. Sima Yue called out a few scarlet bees and gave them some instructions before letting them leave. Sit down and wait for the news. Are they reliable? It wasn't that Liang Chu Xing had never seen people raising small spirit beasts to spy on information, but this kind of thing was often easily discovered. Once someone was discovered to be near the mass grave, the Yuan clan would guess that he had come. This made it even more difficult to find Yunlan's body. Don't worry, they are definitely more reliable than you. Sima Yue said in disdain. He dared to doubt her scarlet bees? On this continent, if the scarlet bees claimed to be second in terms of information gathering, no one would dare to claim to be first. Seeing how certain she was, Liang Chu Xing also sat back down and waited for the results with her. His heart was very anxious, and after staying in the house for a while, he really could not stay any longer and went to the courtyard. Sima Yue only glanced at him a few times and let him walk around the courtyard. A few hours later, the scarlet bees finally returned with news. There seemed to be no one at the mass grave, but in fact, there were many experts hidden not far away. Roughly estimating, there should be more than 10 of them. Yunlan's body had been left there for a few days, so it had already rotted quite badly, but it could still be seen how much she had suffered when she was alive. Liang Chu Xing sneered after hearing this. This Yuan clan really thinks highly of me. Since there are people lying in ambush there, then we will proceed according to our plan. Sima Yue said, we will go over tonight. There's no need. I will go over myself tonight. Liang Chu Xing said, if you go, I will have to take care of you. It will be even more dangerous. You can handle it alone? Sima Yue said. Today is already the 6th day since Yunlan died. I can't let her stay in the mass grave. So no matter what, I will go and bring her body back tonight. Liang Chu Xing clenched his fists, trying to suppress his anger. Looking at you now, are you sure you are not going to die? How many experts can you deal with? Since I promised to help you find her body, I will definitely do it. I will think of a way to lure those people away. You just need to be responsible for collecting the body. Sima Yue was very confident, as if she did not put those experts in her eyes. Liang Chu Xing looked at her confident appearance and wanted to believe her. However, he still shook his head. You and Yunlan have never met before. With her personality, she would not let anyone take the risk for her. If I let you face those people, I can't do it. Who said I will go personally? Sima Yue asked. Don't tell me you brought someone else? Sima Yue knew that if she did not tell him the whole plan, Liang Chu Xing would not accept it. Although she did not like this flower thief, she had to make sure that someone would collect Yunlan's body. If something happened to Liang Chu Xing, then no one would collect her body. Come out. She called out. A faint black fog overflowed from the back of her hand, turning into a miniature version of her. This is my contracted beast. When the time comes, he will go and lure those people away. Me, let him see how powerful you are. Oh, it's okay to injure him, but don't cripple him, we still have a mission tonight. Sima Yue instructed. Me nodded and instantly attacked Liang Chu-shing. At first, Liang Chu-shing could not feel the fluctuation of Me-er's spiritual power and underestimated him, thinking that Sima Yue's contracted beast would not be that powerful. In the end, he was beaten up by Me-er until he was lying on the ground, unable to get up. Didn't I tell you to be careful? Sima Yue said. Eating a pill will not affect the work at night. Me-er said disdainfully. That's still a waste of my pill. Sima Yue knocked on his head. Don't you know that it's shameful to waste? Me-er thought about it seriously and nodded. You're right, I'll be more careful next time. But this person is too weak, he can't take a beating at all. With such tender skin, he even plucked others. I think he was plucked by others, right? Liang Chu-shing, who was lying on the ground, Sima Yue stuffed a pill into his mouth. Because time was tight, she used a better healing pill. Liang Chu-shing hurriedly felt the changes in his body. Only then did he know that the pill from last time was far worse than this one. After Sima Yue fed him the pill, she went to sleep on the bed, preparing to take action at night, and a certain someone was once again left on the ground by her. Liang Chu-shing was already crying in his heart. Why did he always sleep on the floor after meeting her? Chapter 1694. At night, Liang Chu-shing's injuries were much better. Although it looked serious during the day, Me-er had only left him with external injuries. He would recover quickly. At least he was able to move when he left the house. Sima Yue followed the directions given by the scarlet bees and brought him to the vicinity of the mass grave. There were no signs of human habitation within 10 miles of this place. The wild grass swayed in the cold wind, and from time to time, the howling of the wind could be heard, making this night seem somewhat desolate. When she arrived at the mass grave, she sensed the aura of many experts through the space. Meyer, I'm counting on you. Sima Yue called out Me-er. Just in case, Me-er split himself into a few people and changed his shape before flying towards the mass grave. When he arrived at the mass grave, he saw many corpses. He wasn't sure which one belonged to Yunlan, so he pretended to search inside. Yunlan, where are you? Who is it? He looked around and cried out in surprise. The people hiding in the dark thought that they had been discovered, so they all ran out and said, Are you looking for Yunlan's bones? She's not here. Where is she? Come with us and you'll know. You're from the Yuan family, right? You want me to go with you? Don't even think about it. Me-er shouted. What's the point of talking nonsense with him? There are so many of us. Can't we catch him? Let's go. Me-er looked at the people who had surrounded him. He found a gap and flew straight into the city. When those people saw him escaping, they all chased after him. Let's go over. Liang Chu-shing said. Wait, there's someone else. Sima Yue pulled him back and let Me-er's second doppelganger go over. Using the same method, he lured a group of people away before using the third doppelganger to lure the last group of people away. After confirming that there was no one here, she brought Liang Chu-shing over. Even though there were dozens of skeletons here, Liang Chu-shing still quickly found Yunlan. At this time, Yunlan was already rotten beyond recognition. Not a single piece of her clothes was intact. They were all dyed dark red by blood. The air was filled with a rotten smell. Some of it belonged to her, and some belonged to others. Liang Chu-shing's eyes were red. Sima Yue stood behind him and could see his trembling body. She could feel his suppressed emotions and the anger he was trying to control. You, hurry up, they'll be back soon. She reminded him. I understand. Because of the pressure, his voice was a little hoarse. He took out a coffin and placed Yunlan's body inside. Then, he put the coffin away. It's done. He touched his spatial ring, and his voice had already returned to normal. Sima Yue nodded. She conjured flames and burned all the corpses into ashes. This way, their corpses wouldn't be exposed in the wilderness. She brought him along and disappeared from the spot. Mage received the order and all the clones that were leading those people to escape disappeared, turning into black smoke and dissipating into the air. What's going on? Before those people could figure it out, they saw the flames at the mass grave and shouted, "We've been tricked." Unfortunately, it was useless to rush back. Those skeletons had already been burned to ashes. When the wind blew, the air was filled with ashes. Looking at the empty mass grave, those people were so angry that their noses almost crooked. Sima Yue and Liang Chu Xing returned to the small courtyard. Mage also returned safely. Dealing with those small fries was a piece of cake for him. If it wasn't for Sima Yue not wanting to make things worse at this time, he would have killed all those people in the mass grave. I'll go back to my room first. Liang Chu Xing said to Sima Yue and returned to his room. I don't care what you want to do, you'd better not involve me. Sima Yue warned his back. Liang Chu Xing paused and said that he understood. He opened the door and entered his room. Sima Yue looked at the grief emitted from his body and sighed in her heart. Although Liang Chu Xing had always said that he was a flower thief, sometimes he didn't know how to control his words. He always talked about his good sister and brother and sometimes even teased her. But she could see that his gaze was very clear and not the wretched gaze of a pervert. And looking at him like this, his relationship with Yunlan was not that simple. Also, if it was a normal relationship, he wouldn't have taken the risk to collect her corpse. That night, the atmosphere in the Yuan family was not very good. Many of the masters were furious. Without Yunlan's corpse, they had no way to lure the other person out. They also completely lost the news of the emperor's mausoleum. Sima Yue did not care about how the Yuan family would spend the night. She asked the Scarlet Bees to pay attention to Liang Chu Xing's whereabouts, worried that he would do something that would implicate her. But fortunately, although his mood was not very good, he did not do anything excessive. The next day, he went to a shop and stayed for a while before returning. In the afternoon, Ru Shui came to tell her that there was a banquet the next day and Miss Yuan invited her to attend. She accepted the invitation and said that she would definitely attend the banquet. At this time, she was still in the mood to hold a banquet. This Miss Yuan's attitude was really good. It just so happened that she also wanted to meet her. She wanted to see what kind of person this honey-mouthed person was. The next morning, Sima Yue tidied up and dressed up. She was not as fresh and beautiful as before, but more enchanting and charming. Liang Chu Xing saw her, but did not have any reaction. He only said lightly, that Miss Yuan is very difficult to get along with. You should be careful. The other ladies are all idiots without any inner qualities, but they are used to being arrogant and despotic. You better not have a direct confrontation with them. I know. Sima Yue nodded. But you are a guest invited by them. There shouldn't be any problems. Liang Chu Xing said and returned to his room. Ru Shui saw Sima Yue coming out alone. She looked behind her curiously and asked, Miss Yue, aren't you bringing your guard with you? Isn't this a gathering between ladies? Why would a man like him go? I believe that with the Yuan family here, I don't have to worry about my safety. Sima Yue smiled at Ru Shui and got on the beast carriage waiting at the door. The beast carriage did not need anyone to drive it. With the Yuan family's logo, pedestrians on the road would automatically avoid it. These spirit beasts were all intelligent. They did not need anyone to drive them away and could also lead the guests to the gathering place. The venue of the gathering was Yuan Yuchio's courtyard. Today, all the women who were invited to participate in the glazed gathering were invited. Seeing the maidservant at the door, Sima Yue had a feeling that this Yuan family should have strong women and weak men, right? Please show me your invitation. Seeing Sima Yue come alone, the maidservant's attitude was not so gentle. Every time the glazed gathering would invite some talented people with bad backgrounds. The person in front of her didn't even have a maidservant. She didn't know where she came from. Chapter 1695. Sima Yuyue took out the invitation, and the two maidservants' expressions changed instantly. They immediately became respectful. Her invitation card had the young Miss's personal seal, which meant that the young Miss had personally sent the invitation card. This kind of person was an honored guest of this banquet. Only those with talent and background would have such an invitation. Why didn't such a person bring a few maidservants with him? The servant girl in charge of receiving the guests complained in her heart, but on the surface, she put on a decent smile. "Oh, it's Miss Yuyue. Eldest Miss has been waiting for you for a long time. Please follow me." A maidservant bowed to Sima Yuyue and led her into the courtyard. Perhaps because Sima Yuyue's expression was not very good, the maidservant did not dare to say anything along the way and took her to find Yuan Yuqiu. "Eldest young Miss, Miss Yuyue is here," said the maidservant at the door. "Come in." The voice that responded was indeed a little cold. Sima Yuyue went in and saw a woman in white painting. There was not a single servant girl in the room. She raised her head when she heard the commotion. When she saw Sima Yuyue, she was stunned for a moment. "Yuyue greets Miss Yuan." Sima Yuyue bowed to her. Yuan Yuqiu returned to her senses and smiled at Sima Yuyue. "Are you Yuyue? Have you gotten used to living here these past 2 days?" "Very good," Sima Yuyue smiled. "Yuyue has to thank Miss Yuan for taking care of me." She knew why Yuan Yuqiu was in a daze just now. After Sima Lu Xian returned, she had seen Yu Kuluo's portrait. She was already 70% similar to her mother. Now that she had dressed up, the two of them were 90% similar. For people who had not seen her for a long time, she could be mistaken for the real Yu Kuluo. Yuan Yuqiu came over from behind the table and said, "You really look like your mother. We used to travel together, but in the end, I didn't expect that she and your father would end up like this. My mother loves my father. Although they are separated now, they are both willing to endure the hardships of their relationship." Sima Yuyue smiled. Yes, they were really close at that time. Yuan Yuqiu said with emotion. "I heard that your father has returned. Why didn't he come with you?" Sima Yuyue cursed in her heart. As expected, he came for her father. But the smile on her face remained unchanged as she said, "Miss Yuan. Your mother and I were good sisters at that time. You don't have to call me Miss Yuan, just call me Aunt Xiu." Yuan Yuqiu interrupted her, trying to get closer to each other. "Aunt Xiu." Sima Yuyue rolled her eyes in her heart and continued, "While ago, on great-grandfather's birthday, the Sima clan was attacked by bandits, right?" "Yes." Yuyue Yuyue Yuyues Yuyue 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 Yuyues Yuyue 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 Yuyue. There are so many people in your family, there's no need for him to personally investigate. Does he feel at ease letting you come to such a faraway place alone? What's there to worry about?" Sima Yuyue smiled at her proudly. "I was the one who took care of those spiritual paragons back then. Whoever wants to take action against me, isn't that asking for death? I actually hope that those people will come looking for me, so that I can settle the score with them." Yuan Yuqiu's eyes darkened, and she felt a little suffocated. Of course, she knew that Sima Yuyue did not come alone. There were many people from the Feng people in her little realm. She wasn't the only one who knew about this. Perhaps the entire continent knew about this. But who dared to have designs on her? Unless they could waste dozens of pinnacle venerable rank experts to stall the Feng people and not be afraid of the Feng people's revenge in the future. Anyone who had a peak level venerable would have to consecrate them. No one would be so generous as to waste dozens of them. Therefore, it could be said that she could do whatever she wanted on the continent. "How is your father now? Where had he been all these years? I sent people to look for him at the beginning, but there was no news at all." Sima Yuyue could see that it was a gathering of young ladies. It was simply to ask her about Sima Lu Xian's situation. "My father is very good. Thank you for your concern, Aunt Xiu. It's just that he has been worried about my mother and is depressed all day long. It's useless to persuade him." After speaking, she let out a long sigh. Your mother has been caught and sent to the ghost realm. Your father is still thinking about her? It's not that I want to say this, but you are his daughter. Persuade him more and let him take it easy. Sima Yoyue's mouth twitched. She really wanted to scold her for saying that, but she endured it and swallowed the sentence. Aunt Xiao, we are here. What about the guests? Second sister is there to greet them. We will go over in a while. Yuan Yuqiu said. When Sima Yuyue heard her say this, she couldn't say anything else and waited for her to continue. Sure enough, after waiting for a while, Yuan Yuqiu spoke again. Yuyue, your father went to investigate those things. Will he be okay? If there's anything you need, you must tell me. I have a good relationship with your parents. If there's anything, I will do my best to help. TSK, I won't look for you. Sima Yuyue couldn't stand her pretentious look and said, Aunt Xiao, let's go to the banquet. I want to see those geniuses. Yuan Yuqiu looked at her, held back the unhappiness in her heart and said, that's right. The banquet is about to end. Let's go. Yuan Yuqiu walked in front, and Sima Yuyue walked one step behind her. Until now, she still couldn't be sure whether Yuan Yuqiu was the one who poisoned her. However, what was certain was that she used her mother's relationship to get close to her father. Until now, she still hadn't given up on her father and was beating around the bush to get in touch with him again. Her father was her mother's. How could other women covet him? However, it was still a bit difficult to determine whether she was the one who poisoned her. She had to confirm this matter before the end of the glazed gathering. After leaving the courtyard, Yuan Yuqiu became the person who was rumored to be outside again. Along the way, she didn't speak or smile and looked very cold. As soon as she arrived at the banquet hall, she heard the laughter coming from inside. It was all women's voices, and Yuan Qing's exaggerated laughter. Yuan Yuqiu took her in, and it immediately quieted down. Big sister, you're here. Yuan Qing saw Yuan Yuqiu and ran over. Her flowery clothes really looked like a peacock spreading its tail. Let me introduce you. This is Sima Yuyue from the Sima family. Yuan Yuqiu introduced Sima Yuyue to them. When those people heard that she was Sima Yuyue, the way they looked at her changed. Sima Yuyue smiled at them and felt a gaze full of killing intent. The killing intent disappeared in a flash, and when she looked again, she couldn't see who it was. Chapter 1696. The banquet didn't last very long, and everyone dispersed after half a day. During the banquet, Sima Yuyue did not feel the murderous intent anymore, but she became alert. The murderous intent she felt when she entered the room was not an illusion. It meant that the other party really hated her. However, she didn't feel anything after that, which meant that the other party was suppressing her. It would be difficult to deal with someone with such good self-control. However, he would just have to deal with whatever came his way. As for the others, during the banquet, perhaps because of her identity, or because they thought she was Yuan Yuqiu's woman, in short, many people came to flatter her and wanted to chat with her. Sima Yuyue said perfunctorily. She wanted to hide in the corner and not be discovered, but Yuan Yuqiu mentioned her from time to time, so she hid beside Yuan Yuqiu. Although those people were curious about her, they were also a little afraid of Yuan Yuqiu and did not dare to come over blatantly. She also had a lot of peace and quiet. At least, in front of outsiders, Yuan Yuqiu did not show such eagerness. After the banquet, she went out with everyone and declined Yuan Yuqiu's offer to see her off. There are still a few days until the glazed assembly. You can walk around the city and see if there's anything you're interested in. I'll be busy these days, so I can't show you around in person, but if there's anything, you can send someone to tell me. Yuan Yuqiu took her hand and said kindly. I understand. Aunt Xiao, you don't have to worry about me if you're busy. I'll find something to entertain myself. Sima Yuyue said and got on the beast carriage that was prepared. When the car door closed, the smile on her face instantly disappeared, and her expression became somewhat solemn. She said a lot of things to Yuan Yuqiu today, and she also asked about the things that happened in the past, but Yuan Yuqiu responded very well. Other than being a little anxious about Sima Lu Xian, everything else was watertight. It seemed that it would be difficult to find evidence of her poisoning. She returned to the courtyard where she lived. When Liang Chuxing saw her return to her room with a frown, he followed her in. After a day of recuperation, he looked like he had almost recovered, but no one knew what he was thinking. What happened to you? Why are you frowning after attending a banquet? He walked over and asked when he saw Sima Yue standing in front of the table in a daze. Sima Yue turned to look at him and asked, "Do you know anything about Yuan Yuqiu?" "It's just a so-so." Liang Chuxing sat down, and Sima Yue followed suit. "Is she a meticulous person?" "I can't say that she's meticulous. It's just that, how should I put it? With that idiot Yuan Lili as a comparison, she seems to have a bit of a brain." Liang Chuxing said, "Why? Do you think she's very difficult to deal with after dealing with her today?" Sima Yue remembered that Liang Chuxing was quite famous in the 5th prefecture and asked, "Then do you know of a type of poison whose symptoms are?" She told him about Yukuluo's situation after she was poisoned, how her parents exhausted their spiritual power to save her life after she was born, and how it would cause the baby's veins to be blocked and unable to cultivate. After that, she asked again, "Does the Yuan family have such a poison?" "I've never seen this kind of poison before, but my friend should know." Liang Chuxing said, "Why don't we ask her?" "Fu Lai City saved your friend?" "His sister, she happens to be in Kangmar City." Liang Chuxing said. "Then I'll have to trouble you to arrange it." Sima Yue said. "I'll take you to see her tomorrow." Liang Chuxing replied, "But why are you asking about this? Is it related to Yuan Yuqiu?" "Yes." "You're that baby? You suspect that Yuan Yuqiu poisoned you?" Liang Chuxing guessed with certainty. Sima Yue saw that he guessed correctly and admitted it, saying, "You guessed right. I asked Xian Yuan Pavilion to help me investigate the matter of that year and listed a few suspects. This Yuan Yuqiu is ranked first and is the most likely. But it's been so many years and they can't find any evidence, so it's a bit difficult to get her to admit it. That's a bit troublesome." Liang Chuxing touched his chin. "Since you helped me collect Yunlan's body, I'll help you find out the person who poisoned you? You'll help me investigate?" Sima Yue blinked. The meaning in her eyes was obvious. "You're a person who was chased around by the Yuan family. Do you have the ability to do that? Didn't I take you to see my friend? Without me, you might not be able to get anything out of her if you ask." Liang Chuxing said proudly. "Sima Yue, if it's not Yuan Yuqiu who poisoned you, what will you do?" Liang Chuxing asked. "Then I'll continue to look." Sima Yue said, "That year, that person caused my family to be so miserable. My parents were separated, and I was treated as a waste for so many years. This hatred must be avenged. What if that person's identity is more powerful than Yuan Yuqiu?" After Liang Chuxing asked this sentence, he wanted to swallow it back because Sima Yue gave him a silly expression. "That's true. With your current identity and background, who can be more powerful than you?" TSK, it's not that I want to say this, but with your identity, no one on this continent would dare to say anything. I'm not a crab. Sima Yue was not satisfied with his adjectives. "Isn't this just an analogy?" Liang Chuxing said, "Let me remind you, my friend's temper is a bit strange. You know, people who deal with poison all day long have a bit of a personality. If there's anything wrong tomorrow, you have to bear with it a little." Sima Yue understood. Those professional masters more or less had some problems, so she nodded in understanding. "I'll pay attention," she said. After all, she was the one who needed help, so she wouldn't be so blind. Early the next morning, Sima Yue and Ru Shui said that they were going out for a stroll, and then left the small courtyard with Liang Chuxing. She didn't know if Yuan Yuqiu had sent someone to keep an eye on her, so she didn't appear to be in a hurry. Instead, she looked for a few medicinal shops to stroll around, and then seemingly inadvertently entered the shop that Liang Chuxing mentioned. Liang Chu Xing could be considered an acquaintance here. He asked the waiter to take them directly to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper had already seen his appearance before, so he recognized who he was. "Young Master Liang, are you here to look for young miss?" The shopkeeper asked. "Where's Xian Xian?" "Young miss is in the alchemy room. She instructed us not to disturb her. She went in early yesterday morning, so she should be coming out soon. Do you want to wait?" The shopkeeper said politely. Liang Chu Xing looked at Sima Yuyue. Seeing her nod, he said, "Okay, we'll wait." And this wait lasted for almost half a day. Afternoon, a woman in red came in from outside. "Liang Erhua, why are you here again?" Chapter 1697. Second Brother Liang? Sima Yuyu smiled very unkindly. Thinking that there were outsiders around, she held up her teacup reservedly and used the lid to hide her smile. "Liang Erhua, why did you bring me a stranger? You know the rules here, don't make me throw you out." When the woman saw Sima Yuyue, she glared at Liang Chu Xing and walked to the main seat and sat down. "Xian Xian, there are people here, don't be so rude to me." Liang Chu Xing winked at Chu Xian. "Second Brother Liang, since when do you have such a thing as face?" Chu Xian said faintly, "If you want to save face, why don't you give up being the young master of the Liang family and become a flower thief? It's strange that the Liang clan didn't expel you from the clan." "Xian Xian." Liang Chu Xing called out to her with a helpless tone. "All right, I won't expose you." Chu Xian waved her hand. "Tell me, what are you here for today? Let me introduce you. This is Chu Xian, and this is Sima Yuyue. Help me lure away the Yuan family's ambush so that I can collect Yunlan's corpse." Liang Chu Xing introduced the two of them. "Sima Yuyue?" Chu Xian's gaze was cold. Even though she was looking at Sima Yuyue emotionlessly, Sima Yuyue still felt pressured. It was as if she was being stared at by a poisonous snake. "Yuyue greets Senior Chu." Sima Yuyue stood up and bowed to Chu Xian. "I've heard of you. You've become quite famous recently." Chu Xian said, "Why are you looking for me? Why don't you say that I'm looking for you?" Liang Chu Xing muttered at the side. "You're just an infatuated flower thief. What business do you have with me?" He had no choice but to use some poison to harm people. "But is such a small matter worth waiting for me for a few hours?" Chu Xian rolled her eyes at him. Liang Chu Xing curled his lips and didn't say anything. Sima Yuyue smiled when she saw the way the two of them interacted. Only people who were close to each other would poke at each other's wounds. "Senior Chu, it's like this. Liang Chu Xing said that you are very knowledgeable in poison techniques, so he has something to ask you." "What?" "I know a type of poison, it." Sima Yuyue explained the symptoms and asked, "Senior, would like to ask if you know what kind of poison it is." "The poison you're talking about is called drunken poison flower." Chu Xian replied, "However, I never knew that a poison person could survive until the child was born." "Are you that baby?" Sima Yuyue was silent for a moment before she nodded and asked, "Senior, do you know who created this poison?" "Of course I do. This is the poison that I created. There's only one of its kind in the world." Chu Xian's words shocked everyone. "What? Is this your poison?" "Xian Xian, the person who poisoned Yoyue's mother shouldn't be you, right?" Liang Chu Xing shouted. "Second Brother Liang, when can you use your brain? You think you can avoid being hunted down by the Yuan clan for 2 years?" Chu Xian's eyes were full of disdain, as if she didn't know him at all. Although this poison was created by Senior, it was not used by Senior. Sima Yuyue said, "Would like to ask Senior, 60 or 70 years ago, who did you give this poison to?" "This poison isn't a good poison. Back then, after refining a batch, I didn't refine any more. I only gave it to one person." Chu Xian said. "If that's the case, then it's easy to find out who poisoned her." Liang Chu Xing interrupted again, saying some useless nonsense. Sima Yuyue looked at Chu Xian expectantly, but she didn't say anything else. Xian, don't keep us in suspense. Quickly tell us, okay? Liang Chu Xing urged. Why are you in such a hurry? Chu Xian shouted at him, if I want to say it, then I'll say it. If I don't want to say it, then I won't say it. What are you talking about? Xian. The person who was scolded called out in grievance. Sima Yuyue smiled, Senior, what do you want? If I can do it, I will do my best to do it. Chu Xian looked at her with satisfaction and said faintly, Actually, my condition is very simple. I never thought that this poison could be passed on to a baby, so I want to know the details of your situation at that time. I also want to know how you cured the poison. As long as you tell me this, I will tell you who I gave the poison to. You want to know how to cure the poison? Sima Yuyue was startled. Such an easy condition? But when Chu Xian saw her in a daze, she thought that she was unwilling. Well, most people were unwilling to tell others their methods. If you're not willing, then I won't, Senior, I'm willing to tell you. Sima Yuyue smiled. Then just now I was in a daze just now because I didn't expect Senior's condition to be so simple. Sima Yuyue thought about it and didn't say the last sentence. She didn't say that Liang Chu Xing said that she was a little strange and difficult to get along with. She was afraid that Liang Chu Xing would be beaten by Chu Xian if she said this. Later, she talked about the symptoms of her original poisoning and the method of detoxification, no matter how big or small. Chu Xian took down notes on paper and sighed, Who was the person who saved you? That's a person on the continent below. As for who it is, it's not convenient to say. Sima Yuyue said, This doesn't affect our agreement, right? This doesn't affect it, I'm just a little curious. Who is the person who can develop such a detoxification prescription? Since it's from the continent below, then forget it. Chu Xian looked at the prescription and couldn't take her eyes off it. It's also thanks to your mother being from the ghost realm that she wasn't poisoned to death and you were still alive. I really didn't expect that this poison would have such a result when it met the ghost clan. Now that I've said this, can you tell me who you gave this poison to? Is it the Yuan family? Sima Yuyue asked. Chu Xian raised her head from the paper, Yuan family? Those arrogant people of the Yuan family won't come to me to buy poison. It's Su Emoli. Sima Yuyue was a little surprised. She took out the information given to her by Xinyuan Pavilion and read it again about Su Emoli. Su Emoli is the daughter of the Su family. She is lively and friendly to people. She doesn't like the cold and arrogant Yuan Yuqiu. It was Su Emoli who poisoned your mother? Liang Chu Xing was very familiar with the affairs of those women. At this time, Sima Yuyue felt that this flower thief was a bit more like it. I don't know. Sima Yuyue shook her head, although she bought the poison, it doesn't necessarily mean she used it. But this is a clue. However, what makes me more surprised is that Su Emoli and my mother have never been in contact, but she was listed on the suspect list by Xianyuan Pavilion, although she was ranked last. Why is that? It's not easy to know the reason. Do you have a way? Didn't you ask Xianyuan Pavilion for this information? Then why don't you go directly to Xianyuan Pavilion and ask? No, this matter is very confidential. Not many people know about it. Sima Yuyue said. Since you think she is suspicious, just ask her. Chu Xian said, Su Emoli came to Kangmar City 2 days ago. Chapter 1698. Liang Chu Xing was a little surprised. Su Emoli and Yuan Yuqiu were not on good terms. How could she come to the Yuan family's territory? In that case, I will go and meet this Su Emoli. Sima Yuyue got up. Thank you, Senior, for telling me today. This junior will take her leave first. If you go to see Su Emoli, you can take this guy with you. He's the best at making relationships with women. Chu Xian waved her hand and ignored them. She continued to study the antidote formula that Sima Yuyue had given her. Sima Yuyue and Liang Chu Xing left the shop. It was already late, and they didn't know where Su Emoli lived, so the two returned to their residence first. That night, she let the scarlet bees search the city, and must find the whereabouts of Su Emoli. Because of the pride of the Su family's daughter, even in the territory of the Yuan family, she did not keep a low profile. It took the scarlet bees only 2 days to find the whereabouts of Su Emoli, and at the same time brought back a message. Su Emoli was invited by Yuan Yuqiu. The two were not on good terms. How could Yuan Yuqiu invite Su Emoli here? Shall we meet this Su family's daughter tonight? Liang Chu Xing asked. Yes. Sima Yuyue nodded. At night, the two of them gathered in the courtyard. Liang Chu Xing watched as she called out 1,000 resonants and fused with him, then changed into the appearance of a man. You are amazing, he said, circling her twice. Let's go. Sima Yuyue was not in the mood to talk to him about this. She pulled him to the place that Scarlet Bee mentioned. The place where the Su family lived was not very far away, but it was heavily guarded. Several experts were hidden in the courtyard. It seems that Su Emoli is still worried about Yuan Yuqiu. Fortunately, Sima Yoyue's space technique was excellent, and no one found out when she sneaked into Su Emoli's room. Su Emoli was taking a bath in the bathtub when she felt the movement in the space. She immediately flew out of the water and put on the clothes on the side with a wave of her hand. Entering a room in the middle of the night, he shouldn't be a gentleman, right? After putting on her clothes, she pouted and complained to the air. Of course we're gentlemen, but we're just gentlemen on the beam. Sima Yuyue and Liang Chuxing came out of the spatial tunnel and casually set up a barrier. Su Emoli saw that it was 2 men who came out, but did not panic. She walked barefoot outside, sat on the bed, looked at them, and asked, Are you trying to pick me? What do you think, miss? Liang Chuxing revealed a wretched smile as he looked at her lecherously. With your skin as smooth as jade and your body as delicate as a flower, which flower thief wouldn't want to pick you? Really? Then should I thank you for your favor? Su Emoli said with a smile, however, I'm afraid that you will have the life to pick it, but not the life to enjoy it. Are you talking about those experts outside? See if you can still contact them. Liang Chuxing said unhurriedly. Su Emoli sensed it and found that she really couldn't contact the people outside, but she didn't show a panicked expression. Instead, she smiled and said, I didn't expect you to be able to set up such a powerful enchantment here. If that's the case, then I'll obediently let you pick it. She was like this, so Sima Yuyue couldn't continue to flirt with her. Miss Su, we came to you because we have something to ask you. Sima Yuyue said, as long as you tell us, we won't embarrass you. It seems that I have no choice. Su Emoli shrugged. No, you have a choice. Hee, you can choose to let us pick you. Liang Chuxing said wretchedly. I'd rather be picked by this little brother than you, Liang Chuxing, Su Emoli said contemptuously. Who is that guy Liang Chuxing? Liang Chuxing denied. Who else but you can't stop talking about Kai in 3 sentences. Su Emoli said with certainty, this Yuan family is now chasing you everywhere, and you still dare to come here, aren't you afraid of being caught and castrated? After that, she also glanced at him, and that gaze made him subconsciously reach out to cover it. Hee. Seeing Liang Chuxing's action, she smiled happily, okay, I won't tease you anymore. Tell me, what's the matter tonight? Although this long night is good, it's not beautiful with the flower thief. The meaning was obvious, if you have any questions, ask quickly, and get out quickly. Sima Yuyue knew that young ladies like them had many life-saving means, and using force against her may not be useful. Miss Su, I want to ask you, 60 or 70 years ago, did you buy the drunk poison flower from Senior Chu? She asked the purpose of tonight. Su Emoli, who had been careless, heard the name of the drunk poison flower, the smile on her face disappeared, and she sat up straight. She looked at Sima Yuyue, her eyes slightly cold. What are you asking this for? Sima Yuyue waved her hand, and the chair on the side moved over by itself. She sat opposite Su Emoli and said, You should know. We have confirmed it from Senior Chu. She said you bought the drunk poison flower. Since you know all about it, why are you still asking me? Su Emoli recovered her smile. Don't say you came to me for this poison. I don't have it. 67 years ago, Ghost Princess Yu Kaluo and Sima Lu Xian fell in love, but when she was pregnant, she was poisoned with the drunk poison flower. Sima Yuyue said faintly. Impossible. Su Emoli interrupted her. Master Chu said that people who are poisoned with the drunk poison flower can't live for more than half a year. But she didn't die, but was taken away by the ghost clan. How could she be poisoned with the drunk poison flower? Sima Yuyue looked at her reaction. It was very natural. Obviously she didn't know about Yu Kaluo being poisoned with the drunk poison flower. If she poisoned her, it would be impossible. Then the poison wasn't her. But she should know who did it. But the target of the poison is the ghost clan. The bloodline is different, so she survived. She said, "You got this poison from Senior Chu, don't you know?" Su Emoli wanted to say that she really didn't know, but the words turned around again. Who are you? It doesn't matter who I am, you just have to answer me. How did you poison Yu Kaluo? Why should I tell you? What's in it for me to tell you? Su Emoli asked with a smile. I don't know what the benefits are, but if you don't say it, you can't afford to offend Yu Kaluo's daughter. I heard that she also came to Kangmar City to see. If she knows that her mother was poisoned by you, it's fine if you have an accident, but if you implicate your family, you will become a sinner of the family. Liang Chu Xing looked like he was thinking for her, but everyone could hear the threat in it. Then wait for her to come to me. Su Emoli looked at her toes. Since it's about her mother, I will naturally tell her. Liang Chu Xing looked at Sima Yuyue. She hesitated for a while, touched the fusion with 1,000 resonance, and restored her original appearance. Chapter 1699. Seeing Sima Yuyue, Su Emoli was not surprised and said, "It really is you. Please search, to see the most complete. It's the fastest." You guessed it was me. When? Sima Yuyue asked. When you said that Yu Kaluo was poisoned. Most people wouldn't know so clearly, nor would they care so much. When I thought about the news I heard during the day and knew that you were here, I guessed it. Su Emoli didn't hide it either. However, how can a beauty like you be with such a notorious person? This is between me and him. Sima Yuyue said, Miss Su, can you tell me now? Who did you give the drunken poison flower to? Why didn't you say that I poisoned him? Su Emoli asked. If it were you, you wouldn't be so surprised just now. Sima Yuyue shook her head. Senior Su, since you already know my identity, you should understand my feelings. Please tell me who you gave the intoxicating poison flower to. It's not that I don't want to tell you, but I don't know. Su Emoli said. What? How is this possible? Sima Yuyue and Liang Chu Xing had both called out. How could she not know? I gave it to my cousin at the time, but a few days later, she told me that the poison was stolen. Su Emoli said. How could it be stolen? She didn't put it in the space? Liang Chu Xing felt that it was too inconceivable. She had a jade hairpin, which was also a spatial container. She was stolen along with the jade hairpin. Sima Yuyue and Liang Chu Xing understood. Although the space container had recognized its owner, it was not impossible to break it open if one's spiritual power was especially strong. Spatial rings were generally not taken off, but if it was a jade hairpin, it would still be taken off when bathing. Therefore, it was really possible that it had been stolen. Sima Yuyue was a little disappointed. Was this the end of the line? Actually, I can probably guess who poisoned your mother. Su Emoli said. You know? At that time, your father was admired by so many women. Except for that woman from the Yuan family, who was so possessive. This matter, if she didn't do it, she ordered someone to do it. Su Emoli said with certainty, but only she can poison. Do you have evidence? Sima Yuyue asked. There's no evidence, and I don't have much contact with her. Su Emoli curled her lips. but this kind of thing, it's just a set. I asked her a few questions before, but her answers were very clever, so I couldn't find any useful information. Sima Yu was rather helpless. That's the person's wrong. You're just a junior and have never interacted with her before. Isn't it her business how she makes things up? Yue, Su Mo Li said Yue. Senior Su, I heard that you and Yuan Yuqiu are sworn enemies. Why did you come to Kangmar City at this time? It's that woman who invited me here. You know, we haven't seen eye to eye for hundreds of years. If she quietly invited me, I would be too lazy to pay attention to it. As a result, everyone knows about this. If I don't come, wouldn't it mean that I'm afraid of her? Su Mo Li said. Yuan Yuqiu was very disdainful. Then would you like me to help you? Sima Yue asked. That depends on what conditions you can give. Su Mo Li didn't agree, nor did she disagree. Sima Yue thought for a while and said, you help me get information from her, and I promise you that you will leave safely. Ha ha ha, little girl, I know you are very powerful, but it is not difficult for my Su family to leave Kangmar City. Su Mo Li laughed very happily, not knowing whether it was because of what she said or her thoughts. You will need it. Sima Yue said, although you brought a lot of people, it is still a little worse than Yuan Yuqiu's careful arrangement. You said, Yuan Yuqiu wants to deal with me? In Kangmar City? She dares. Su Mo Li said angrily. Do you think she doesn't dare? Because this is her territory, killing you will be talked about by others? Do you think she cares about this? Sima Yue said, she asked you to come here for other reasons, right? Otherwise, why would the news of the invitation spread out? She just wants you to come here. As for the reason, I think you should know better. Su Mo Li didn't know what she thought of, and her face sank slightly. Sima Yue raised the corners of her mouth. It seems that something really happened. She stood up and merged with thousand resonance again. Senior Su, you know how to find me. Sorry to disturb you tonight. After that, she took back the enchantment, opened the door and went out. Good sister, if you miss your brother, you can find me if you don't agree. Brother is on call. Liang Chu Xing gave Su Mo Li a wink and followed out, but stopped as soon as he went out. At this time, many masters had gathered in the yard, and it was estimated that all the people in the yard had come. Let them leave. Su Mo Li's voice came from the house, and Sima Yue nodded to the masters and swaggered out of the main door. Two people came to Su Mo Li's room and knelt on the ground. We failed to protect the master. Please forgive us, Mississippi. Sima Yue's space technique was inherited from the Feng people. If she hadn't deliberately made a movement, I wouldn't have found it. Get up, it's not your fault. Su Mo Li waved her hand. Thank you, Mississippi. The two stood up and stood in place without speaking. Su Mo Li pondered for a while and said to the two standing people, you send someone to check if Yuan Yuqiu has done anything. Remember, don't let the Yuan family find out. Yes, Mississippi. The two took the order and went out, leaving Su Mo Li staring at her toes in a daze. Sima Yue took Liang Chu Xing back to the place where they lived quietly, and Ru Shui always thought that they had not gone out in the yard. Yue, do you think that Su Mo Li will agree with you? Yes. Why? Yuan Yuqiu wants to kill her. Although I don't know the reason, but what secrets did they have before that made Yuan Yuqiu want to kill her regardless of her reputation? How do you know? I guessed. The Scarlet Bees have been investigating the news in the city during this time, and this was also what they sent back. This was also why she was so sure. This Su family is not weaker than the Yuan family. If they really kill Su Mo Li, the Su family will not give up. Liang Chu Xing analyzed. Yuan Yuqiu does not hesitate to expand the two families, which can only mean that either Su Mo Li has something that can greatly increase the strength of the Yuan family. Otherwise, the Yuan clan will be able to gain more benefits from this matter. In any case, it has nothing to do with us. Just wait for her to come to us. Sima Yuyue returned to her room and prepared to close the door. How long do you think she will wait? Tomorrow night. Sima Yuyue slammed the door. This book came from Chapter 1700. At the same time, in Yuan Yuchio's house, several men in black knelt on one knee. Have you found it? Yuan Yuchio's voice was as cold as ever. In this world, except for Sima Lu Xian, no one could see her gentle side. However, the person who could see it disdained to look at it. Miss, Sima Yuyue went to look for Chu Xian. The leader of the men in black said. Chu Xian. Yuan Yuchio gritted her teeth and whispered her name. This woman was like a fishbone stuck in her throat. She couldn't swallow it, couldn't pull it out, and still insisted on walking around under her nose. Yes, she went to Chu Xian's medicine shop and stayed there for half a day. The black-robed man said. I understand. Is the Falcon Project ready? I'm ready. This time, none of the Su family members will escape. Bring forward the plan. There's no need to wait for the glazed assembly. We'll do it in the next 2 days. In addition, send someone to pay attention to not let Sima Yuyue and Su Emoli meet. Miss, if we bring forward the plan, wouldn't it be too hasty? Isn't 3 days enough time for you to deploy? Yuan Yuchio shouted, if you don't have this ability, what are you doing here? Young miss, please calm down. I'm just worried that something might go wrong. If we fail and the higher-ups blame us, we won't be able to bear the consequences. All of you just have to do as I say. As for the rest, I will arrange it. Yuan Yuchio said with a cold face, as for other things, you don't have to worry about them. Go and make the arrangements. When those people saw that their persuasion was ineffective, they could only retreat helplessly. Yuan Yuchio got up and went to the window. Looking at the full moon in the sky, she murmured, I must not let these two meet, I must. On Su Mo Li's side, although Kangmar City was not their territory, she still got the news before dark the next day, and she was so angry that she broke the decorative vase. Yuan Yuchio, good job. This time, let's see who will be the one to die. In the next 3 days, the people in the city did their own things in peace. Sima Yuyue only heard that Yuan Yuchio sent an invitation to Su Emoli 3 days later, asking her to meet on the eve of the glazed gathering. Not only her, but the other participants of the glazed gathering had also heard about this. Some of them were a little unhappy, because according to the tradition of the previous gatherings, they had to be invited tonight. Now that only Su Emoli was invited, those people would inevitably think too much. On the other hand, Sima Yuyue saw that Ru Shui was still talking about how the others were unhappy. She just smiled faintly and turned around to return to the house. Ru Shui left her courtyard, but she did not go far away. She kept an eye on her room and did not allow her to leave the courtyard. She had always felt Sima Yuyue's presence, so she thought that Sima Yuyue had always been around. The place where Su Emoli was invited was still the same courtyard as the last time, and Su Emoli went to the appointment with the maidservants and guards. Seeing more than a dozen people following behind her, Yuan Yuchio sneered. Whether or not they came today, these people would all die. Yuan Yuchio, you called me here at this time, you didn't specially invite me to attend the glazed gathering, did you? Su Emoli went to the seat and sat down, and all the maidservants and guards stood behind her. Why can't I invite you to the glazed gathering? Yuan Yuchio waved her hand, and a maidservant immediately served her tea. We have known each other for hundreds of years, but you have never participated in my glazed gathering. You have such talent in alchemy, it is a pity that you don't come to give pointers to those younger generations. Pfft, Su Emoli gave her a blank look. You often can't say anything true from your mouth, but this time you are right, that is, we have known each other for hundreds of years. So I know how many hua intestines you have in your stomach. When your butt sticks up, I know you are going to shit and pee. Su Emoli, I haven't seen you for so many years, but you still speak so vulgarly. As if dissatisfied with her description, Yuan Yuchio frowned, and disgust flashed across her face. Yuan Yuqiu, I am actually very friendly to people. Unless the other party is not a human, then I naturally don't have to be polite. Su Mo crossed her legs and looked at her with a smile. Miss Su, please have some tea. The maidservant came up with a cup of tea and placed it beside her. Talking to you is tiring, it makes my mouth dry. After Su Mo finished speaking, she took a sip of the teacup, then put it down and continued, Yuan Yuqiu, there is no need to say those fake pleasantries between us. Just say it directly, what are you looking for me for? I heard that you got the 7 orifices exquisite array diagram. Yes. Do you want it? Su Mo saw that Yuan Yuqiu's face was a little excited, and the conversation turned, you want it, but I don't want to give it to you. Your Su family is an alchemy family, and it is useless to keep the 7 orifices exquisite array diagram. My Yuan family has studied a lot about arrays. If you are willing to give this diagram to us, my Yuan family will definitely offer a treasure of the same value. Yuan Yuqiu said. A treasure of the same value? Yuan Yuqiu, what can you come up with in exchange? Not to mention that you don't have it, even if you have it, I don't want to exchange. Su Mo said, hey, don't be angry, don't you know that I like to see you hate me so much that your teeth itch, and you want to kill me but can't kill me? The maidservant standing behind her twitched her mouth. Her words were really asking for a beating. Su Mo. I'm talking to you nicely, don't force me to get angry. Yuan Yuqiu slapped the table and snapped. Yuan Yuqiu, what are you doing so loudly? Su Mo picked her ears, my ears are very good, you don't have to be so loud, I can hear you. Yuan Yuqiu took 2 deep breaths, suppressed her anger, and then said, I came to you today to discuss with you, not to quarrel with you. I know you came to discuss with me, but didn't I just refuse you? I said I won't exchange, what else do you want to discuss? You won't do those things by force, right? This is not in line with your Miss Yuan style. Su Mo said, however, you are always playing tricks behind your back, you want to use my array diagram? Su Mo, my elder sister won't play tricks on you. You are not worthy. Yuan Qing and Yuan Lili walked in from the outside and saw Su Mo and snorted coldly. Is that so? Yuan Qing, are you so protective of Yuan Yuqiu? Do you think she is worthy of you being good to her? I don't know if you will still think so when you know those things. Su Mo looked at Yuan Qing funnily. What do you mean? You want to sow discord between my relationship with my elder sister? Yuan Qing was so angry that he jumped and reacted immediately. What do you mean? It's literally what it means. Su Mo said, didn't you help Yuan Yuqiu do a lot of things that her identity can't do? For example, poisoning others. This book came from. Chapter 1701. The maid behind Su Mo lowered her eyes, blocking the fluctuations in her eyes. Poison. Yuan Qing chuckled, Su Mo, I, Yuan Qing, have poisoned many people in my life. This has nothing to do with my eldest sister. If you want to use this to sow discord between us, it's useless. Really? How could it be the same if you poisoned yourself or if you were instigated by your elder sister? Of course, when you poison people, you can afford to offend them. But there are some people you can't provoke. Su Mo kindly advised you. Su Mo, what do you mean? Yuan Lili shouted, third sister, this Su Mo has always been unable to say anything good. We don't have to pay attention to her. Su Mo was also annoyed. She curled her lips and said, you know, your elder sister invited Sima Yue. Hearing this name, Yuan Qing's body stiffened for a moment, but it was still caught by Su Mo. Her smile widened as she looked at Yuan Qing with pity. See, didn't I say that you, Yuan Qing, can't afford to offend this person? However, when you were instigated by your elder sister to poison Yukaluo with the drunken poison flower, you didn't expect that she would give birth to such a monstrous daughter, right? Because Yuan Yuqiu wanted to see her sweetheart, she invited Yukaluo's daughter. Yuan Qing, do you know what you will face? Impossible. Even if Sima Yue is very powerful, she wouldn't know that I was the one who poisoned her. Yuan Qing shouted. Third sister. Yuan Yuqiu stopped Yuan Qing and didn't let her continue. Yuan Yuqiu, why are you doing this? Su Mo Li shrugged. On one hand, you let your sister poison Yu Kaluo, and on the other hand, you're asking about Sima Yue's well-being and fawning over her. Hey, even I can't stand it anymore. Tell me, if she knew that you were the mastermind behind all of this, what would she do to you? Well, at least Sima Lu Xian will definitely not look at you again, he might even kill you himself. She won't know. Yuan Yuqiu sneered. That's not necessarily true. I heard that she went to Chu Xian's place. I got this poison from Chu Xian, so she will definitely come to me. Su Mo Li smiled proudly. As long as I tell her that I gave you the poison, wouldn't she know? You're right. She will know that you obtained the drunken poison flower from Chu Xian, but she won't know that you gave it to us. Because you won't be able to leave this place today. Yuan Yuqiu coldly snorted, men. A group of guards rushed in from outside. Not only that, the courtyard outside and the roof were filled with people. The teacup in Su Mo Li's hand turned in a circle, and when she saw the guards surrounding her, she didn't panic. Yuan Yuqiu, I told you, you invited me here like a weasel paying a visit to a chicken. You don't have any good intentions. You were still pretending before, but now that I mention this matter, you don't even pretend anymore. After Su Mo Li finished speaking, she let out a long sigh. Yuan Yuqiu, do you know, your appearance, oh, it's really disgusting. I don't know, but I know that you can't leave here today. Alas, you are really careful. Not only did you arrange so many people, but you also poisoned me. Alas, my stomach hurts. She clutched her stomach with one hand and threw the teacup to the ground. Su Mo Li, knowing that this is a Hongmen banquet, you still dare to swagger to the appointment. I can only say that you are stupid. Yuan Qing laughed. It's not that I didn't expect you to use such a despicable means. However, sister is just teasing you, don't believe everything. Su Mo Li straightened up, there was no sign of poisoning. You're not poisoned? Didn't you drink the tea? Yuan Li, why are you so brainless? You can poison, but I can't detoxify it? Knowing that you sisters don't have good intentions, of course, I am on guard. Su Mo Li liked to see the Yuan sisters jumping around angrily and was in a good mood. You teased me. Yuan Qing suddenly launched an attack, and red flames sprayed towards them. The distance was very close, and no one expected her to suddenly attack, and it was too late to condense a protective layer. The other guards didn't care so much and attacked Su Mo Li together. For a time, their position was colorful. They could no longer feel that there was still life under the attack, they must have been killed. Big sister, if we knew that this Su Mo Li was so easy to deal with, why did we prepare so many people? Yuan Qing said contemptuously, looking down on Su Mo Li. What people who have fought with Big Sister for hundreds of years, there is nothing to be afraid of. But Yuan Yuqiu frowned, Su Mo Li's performance just now was too abnormal, she wasn't worried at all, which made her feel a little flustered. Big sister, what's wrong? Yuan Li asked when she saw her expression was wrong. Stop the attack. Yuan Yuqiu ordered, and those people stopped immediately. The spirit technique gradually dissipated, but Su Mo Li and the others were still intact. Space blockade. Yuan Yuqiu recognized it at once, no wonder those attacks were useless, it turned out that they didn't touch them at all. How can it be? How can you block such a large area of space? Yuan Qing was also an array master and could also block space, but she could only block the space of 3 or 5 people, not more than a dozen people like this. Such a large space blockade, even Yuan Yuqiu couldn't do it. Su Mo Li looked at their sluggish appearance with a smile, clapped her hands and stood up. Your spirit technique just now looked colorful, it was really beautiful. Su Mo Li, how did you do it? Yuan Qing cried, no, impossible, you don't have that ability. I don't have that ability. Sumo Lee readily admitted. How about it? I said they poisoned us, right? Yuan Yuchio was startled. This was definitely not said to them. Then it could only be. The body of the servant girl behind Sumo Lee slowly changed, and her appearance and aura became Sima Yue. Why is it you? The Yuan family looked at her in surprise. It turned out to be you. No wonder you can block such a large space and still be so stable. Yuan Yuchio knew in her heart that she had been set up by the two. I have an agreement with Senior Su. If the poisoning had nothing to do with the Yuan family, I will not interfere in the affairs between you. If the person who poisoned us was you, I will guarantee her safe departure. Sima Yue said faintly. Yuan Yuchio, today is not only about you and her, but also about the accounts of the past. My mother treated you with sincerity, but you did this to her. As a child, today I will avenge my mother's hatred. After that, she leaped and directly broke through the roof with her spirit power protecting her body. She hung in the air and looked at Yuan Yuchio, who followed her out. She opened the small realm, and the cloud guards and Feng people of the Sima family came out, and she also called out several spirit beasts and merged them all. This book came from Chapter 1702. As soon as the Feng people came out, Yuan Yuchio knew that she had failed. If Sima Yue didn't know what happened back then, it would have been fine, but at this time, she found out and made an agreement with Sumo Lee. Today's matter was unlikely to be resolved peacefully. The commotion here was quickly noticed by the people outside. Many people ran over to watch the commotion. Yuan Yuchio, my mother was so good to you back then, as close as a sister. But because you were jealous that my mother could be together with my father, you poisoned her, almost causing her to die. Not only that, but the poison was also passed on to me as a baby, causing my veins to be blocked, making it impossible for me to cultivate. Even now, you're still trying to deceive me and get my father's attention from me. Today, I want to seek an explanation for the sufferings that my mother and I have suffered in the past. Sima Yue accused Yuan Yuchio one by one. Her voice was loud and clear, spreading far and wide. The onlookers were still wondering why Sima Yue would suddenly make things difficult for the Yuan family. They did not expect that it was because of old grudges. Aunt Xiang, I must avenge my mother today. So, don't let the Yuan family disturb us now. Sima Yue said to Feng Xiang. Feng Xiang understood and set up a barrier to isolate the entire courtyard. Even if the Yuan clan's people came, they wouldn't be able to enter. Yuan Yuchio, today I will make a decision for my mother. After saying that, she quickly formed a seal with both hands, and a fire phoenix formed in front of her. In the beginning, it was a small one. It flapped its wings in the air, and its body grew with the wind. In just a few breaths, it became a huge bird. Go! The firebird left her range and flew towards Yuan Yuchio. Yuan Yuchio's spiritual skill was also completed. It was a huge snow wolf. The two spiritual techniques, one fire and one ice, collided violently in the air. The power that was released made the people around them feel as if they were plunged into an abyss of fire. Originally, Yuan Yuchio did not put Sima Yue in her eyes. At least, she had always thought that she only had some background. Therefore, her snow wolf was definitely going to win this round. However, she didn't expect that the firebird wasn't killed by the snow wolf. Instead, the two sides were evenly matched. How is this possible? When she saw the snow wolf that had become much smaller, she cried out in surprise. Then she understood, that's right, the Sima family's fusion technique can increase your strength. However, even so, you are still no match for me. You'll know once you try. After Sima Yue finished speaking, her hands once again formed a seal, and a short sword appeared in front of her, followed by a second, a third, a fourth. When she finished, hundreds of short swords shot towards Yuan Yuchio. Ha! Yuan Yuchio took out a white chain and waved it to disperse all the short swords. At the same time, she waved her other hand, and an ice lotus attacked Sima Yue, interrupting her. When Sima Yuyue saw the ice lotus, she could feel the immense power within it. She did not take it head-on. She flipped her body and the snow lotus brushed past her body. Seeing that her attack had failed, Yuan Yuqiu controlled the ice lotus to return. Her speed was so fast that she did not give her any time to breathe. Sima Yuyue squinted her eyes and condensed a faint layer of protective layer around her body. She rotated her body and faced the ice lotus. She punched the center of the ice lotus and shattered it. However, her body was still intact. You are a physique cultivator? Yuan Yuqiu was surprised. That's right. After Sima Yuyue finished speaking, she teleported and appeared beside her. She gave up on spiritual power and directly used close combat. She could see that even if she combined with the power of her contracted beast, she would not be able to win against Yuan Yuqiu's spiritual power. Hence, she gave up on this and switched to close combat. However, what surprised her was that Yuan Yuqiu was also a physique cultivator. Although her movements were not as fast as hers, her strength was not weak either. When the two of them fought, she was not at a disadvantage. Fortunately, Sima Yuyue was agile and had a higher understanding of space than her, so overall, she was still able to suppress her. The two of them used teleportation. Everyone only saw the two of them appear in one place for a while and another place for a while. After a few seconds, the two of them disappeared again. When they appeared again, they were in another place. When the people of the Yuan clan heard the movement here, they hurriedly rushed over. When they saw Yuan Yuqiu being forced by Sima Yuyue step by step, and the guards who were killed, the Yuan clan patriarch was so angry that his heart ached. Sima Yuyue, don't think that just because you have the support of the Yuan family, you can bully the people in this world. We kindly invited you to participate in the Glaze Assembly, but you actually killed my family members. I want to ask the Phoenix clan what's the reason for this. The Yuan clan's patriarch was blocked outside by the barrier and couldn't enter. He could only anxiously wait outside. Patriarch of the Yuan family, if we really wanted to destroy your Yuan family, we wouldn't have just killed your daughter. Someone from the Feng people shouted, your Yuan family has gone too far. Even in front of the Supreme Lord, you won't be able to get away with it. What do you mean? The patriarch of the Yuan family was shocked. Did something happen in the family that he didn't know about? Uncle Yuan, don't you know that Yuan Yuqiu poisoned Sima Yuyue's mother? Suemo Li stood on the edge of the enchantment and said with a smile, Sima Yuyue's mother was pregnant with her and had a good relationship with your daughter, but she poisoned her. Drunk poison flower. Originally, the human race could not live for more than half a year after being poisoned by this poison, but she was a ghost. Not only did she survive, but she also gave birth to Sima Yuyue. However, the poison was also transferred to Sima Yuyue, causing her meridians to be blocked and she could not cultivate for more than 10 years. She was bullied as a waste for more than 10 years. How could The patriarch of the Yuan family didn't believe it. If it was Yuan Qing and the others, he might think it was possible, but Yuan Yuqiu, he didn't believe it. Uncle Yuan, Yuan Yuqiu has admitted it herself. Suemo Li said, otherwise, why do you think Sima Yuyue would fight with her personally? Suemo Li saw that the patriarch of the Yuan family couldn't bear the blow and continued to destroy his heart. Uncle Yuan, just now Yuyue said that she only wants to settle accounts with Yuan Yuqiu and will not involve the Yuan family. But if the Yuan family insists on going against her, then she will not be soft. She will not give up the revenge of killing her mother. So, Uncle Yuan, you have to think about the family. The patriarch of the Yuan family and the elders behind him were all livid. After the Feng people killed the guards of the Yuan family, they stood in all directions to protect Sima Yuyue. No matter where she was in danger, they could rush to her as soon as possible. Wasn't that protective posture the Feng people wanted to protect her? As the patriarch of the Yuan family, he had to consider the family. Even if Yuan Yuqiu was his daughter, he couldn't use the whole family to save her. What's more, they couldn't enter this enchantment at all. When Sima Yuyue came out, everything would be settled. He couldn't put the whole family in danger for a dead daughter. This book came from Chapter 1703. Therefore, the entire Yuan family fell silent. In front of absolute power, they had no power to resist. When Yuan Yuqiu saw the Yuan family coming, she was happy and felt that there was hope. When she fought with Sima Yuyue, she realized that she had no advantage at all and was constantly suppressed by her. Seeing the Feng people kill her people, her two younger sisters didn't close their eyes even when they died, and those Feng people and Sima family people surrounded this place. She felt a sense of despair. At this moment, she saw the people closest to her, the people who usually loved and supported her. She wanted to ask them for help, but all she saw was their silent faces. As someone who had been in power for a long time, she naturally understood what that meant. She had been abandoned. He had been abandoned by the entire family. PFFF, while she was still in a daze, Sima Yuyue slapped her chest, causing her to fall from the air onto the ground. If it weren't for the fact that at the last moment, she had mobilized all the spiritual energy in her body and slowed down the speed of her descent, even if she didn't die, she would have been crippled. However, what pained her the most was not the wounds on her body, but the attitude of her family. Retribution, retribution, hee. At this time, she had lost all her will to fight. She lay on the ground and did not get up. Sima Yuyue stood above her and lowered her head to look at her. Her eyes were cold. Once upon a time, I did the same thing. The number of people I abandoned numbered in the hundreds, if not thousands. Today, I've finally tasted it. Don't you think this is retribution? Yuan Yuqiu seemed to be talking to Sima Yuyue, but also seemed to be talking to herself. I don't know about your retribution, but if you didn't do anything to my mother, you wouldn't have ended up like this. Sima Yuyue snorted coldly. That's right. I finally understand the cause and effect of that day. Unfortunately, it's already too late. As she spoke, her body began to expand and emit rays of light. Miss, be careful. She's going to blow herself up. The Sima family members shouted. Sima Yuyue could see that Yuan Yuqiu was going to blow herself up, but the distance between them was too close, and Yuan Yuqiu's self-destruction speed was too fast, giving her no time to escape. Boom! The huge explosion turned the entire courtyard into ashes. If it wasn't for the protection of Feng Xiang's barrier, the entire city would have been blown to ruins. At the same time, this also prevented the power from spreading out within the barrier, and the people within the barrier had to endure even more power. Sima Yuyue couldn't get out of Feng Xiang's enchantment either. Everyone outside thought that she was doomed this time. The patriarch of the Yuan family even had a slight smile on his face. Qiu knew that he couldn't do anything, so she took revenge herself. Meanwhile, the others felt that it was a pity. A bright pearl had fallen just like that. I hope the Feng people will not implicate the entire Kangmar city. Humph, a cold snort interrupted everyone's thoughts. As the white smoke dissipated, everyone saw the situation inside. No one from the Sima family and the Feng people were missing, and they were even unscathed. On the contrary, Su Mo Li and the others were a little embarrassed, but at least their limbs were intact. Yuyue, you used a space blockade, but at least you should have blocked it a little. Su Mo Li pulled at her clothes and complained with a pout. It wasn't me this time. Sima Yuyue blinked at her innocently. This time, it was Feng Xiang who blocked such a large space, not her. Su Mo Li touched her nose. Well, she dared to say this to Sima Yuyue, but she didn't dare to say this to the Feng people. Patriarch of the Yuan family, your young miss blew herself up and almost killed my young Mississippi. The Feng people, will remember this account first. Feng Xiang said coldly. The patriarch of the Yuan family understood that the Feng people were going to make trouble. If the people inside died, it would be fine. If the Feng people investigated, he could say that Sima Yuyue asked for it. But now that the people were not dead, everything was troublesome. Although Sima Yuyue was fine now, it was really thrilling just now. If the Feng people were angry, the Yuan family would have to pay for Yuan Yuqiu's behavior just now. He cupped his hands to Feng Xiang and said, Darren, please calm down. My daughter was rude and offended Miss Yue. Our Yuan family is willing to compensate. Please calm down, young miss and Darren. Sima Yue originally just wanted to kill Yuan Yuchio to avenge her mother, but the Yuan family's choice was really unpleasant. Yuan Yuchio did so much for the Yuan family, but in the end, she only ended up being abandoned by the family. If it was her father, he would definitely not make such a choice. Aunt Xiang, I'll leave these things to you. Sima Yue didn't want to contact the Yuan family and left directly after saying this. When she left, she took away Su Emoli, who wanted to watch the fun. When they appeared again, they were already outside Kangmar City. Senior Su, according to the agreement, I have taken you out of Kangmar City, and our agreement is over. Goodbye. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she turned and left. Su Emoli wanted to stop her, but found that she had disappeared from her sight. What's wrong with this little girl? Why does she look like she's hurt? She muttered, alas, the new generation pushes on the old, and the old generation dies on the beach. I'm already old. After Sima Yue left, she found that she was far away from Kangmar City. She came to the top of a mountain and sat down, took out a special Sun Mother stone, and injected spiritual power into it. Soon, there was movement over there. Why do you want to contact father? Did something happen? Sima Lu Xian's voice came from the Sun Mother stone. When Sima Yue heard this warm and concerned voice, she pouted and said discontentedly, Father, why are you like this? You make it sound like your daughter only looks for you when something happens. Then tell me, why are you looking for father? Sima Lu Xian laughed twice, then suppressed his laughter and pretended to be serious. However, Sima Yue still heard the smile in his words. It's nothing, I just miss father. Sima Yue said, and felt a little sour in her nose. There was silence for a while, and then he asked, Where are you now? I'm on a hillside outside Kangmar City, father, you are now. Before Sima Yue finished speaking, the connection was cut off, which made her stunned. Alas, she didn't know why she was so depressed. She didn't regret killing Yuan Yuchio, and she wouldn't be soft-hearted, but when she saw Yuan Yuchio's expression before she died, her heart was still stimulated. Although it was understandable that the Yuan family did this, she just felt uncomfortable. She sat here all night, and when the first ray of sunlight shone on her in the morning, she saw the man flying in the morning glow. When she saw him, she stood up at once, rushed over happily, and asked, Father, why are you here? Chapter 1704. Sima Lu Xian hugged her and patted her head, saying, I knew it. You're just like your mother. If you feel uncomfortable, you hide and don't let others know. Then, she scratched my heart like a kitten. Sima Yue smiled embarrassedly, but did not get out of his arms. Father, aren't you investigating the dead bodies and the men in black? How did you get here so quickly? It just so happens that there are some clues nearby. Sima Lu Xian said, I'll tell you about this later. Tell me, what's wrong with you? Who bullied my precious daughter? No one bullied me, I just felt a little uncomfortable and missed Dad. Sima Yue rubbed against Sima Lu Xian's chest. Really? Well, our daughter also knows that she misses father. Father is very comforted. Sima Lu Xian said with a smile. Let me think about it. Were you provoked by Yuan Yuchio when you were dealing with her? Yes and no. Sima Yue sighed and told her everything. After hearing her words, Sima Lu Xian patted her head and said, Don't worry, father will always be by your side. Whoever dares to bully you will have to go through me first. I knew it. My dad is the best dad in the world. Sima Yue said with a smile. This world was colder than other worlds. Family ties were indifferent. Other people's fathers would not drop everything and run over to see her when they heard her tone was not right. Only her own father would do that. Unfortunately, father is not a competent father. Sima Lu Xian still felt apologetic towards his daughter. Many of the responsibilities that were originally his had been shouldered by his daughter. How is father an incompetent father? If you go out like this, others will say that you're the most competent. Fathers loved their daughters, after all. As for other things, we are all family. It's not anyone's responsibility. Sima Yue comforted her. Yes, my daughter is right. Father feels much better. Sima Lu Xian said very seriously. Sima Yue saw Sima Lu Xian's fake serious face and pouted. Father, you're teasing me. Ha ha ha, Sima Lu Xian laughed, then touched her head and smiled. Silly child. Sima Yue smiled as well, and all her worries were gone. Yes, it's good to have a father. By the way, Dad, where did you come from? It's in the 6th state. It's not far from here. Sima Lu Xian said, we found out that the Lu family in the 6th state is very likely to be the next chess piece of the Northern Du family, so we came over to take a look. Replacing the Yang clan? Is the Lu family close to the Northern Du family? Sima Yue asked. The Lu family can be said to be single-handedly supported by the Northern Du clan. In the first few states, every hidden family has their own family to support. Sima Lu Xian said, now that your master is watching over there, I can come over. However, I can't stay for too long, or else your master will get angry. Something like I'm more sensitive to corpses and it'll be easier to investigate with me around. But that guy just won't admit that I'm better than him. Sima Yue was speechless. These two guys never forgot to slander each other. Anyway, my matter has been resolved. Dad, shall I go with you? Sima Yue suggested, I'm more sensitive to corpses than you are. The reason why Feng Zhixing let Sima Lu Xian go back was because Sima Lu Xian had lived with Yu Kaluo for so long, so he was more familiar with death energy than ordinary people. But even so, he wasn't as sensitive as Sima Yue. Sima Lu Xian also agreed readily. It was better to keep his precious daughter under his nose, so that those messy people wouldn't make her unhappy. Sima Yue contacted Feng Xiang and the others. Feng Xiang brought the Feng people and Sima family's cloud guards over to meet them. Young miss, this is the Yuan family's apology. Feng Xiang gave her a space ring. Sima Yue took it and looked at it. She was in a good mood when she saw all kinds of treasures inside. She returned the ring to Feng Xiang and said, distribute it to everyone. You've worked hard this time. Feng Xiang took the ring and waited to distribute it to everyone. After that, Sima Yue opened the little realm and let them in. Then, she and Sima Lu Xian went to meet up with Feng Zhixing. Feng Zhixing was very happy when he saw Sima Yue. He rubbed her head and said, I was wondering why your dad ran away without caring about anything. It turns out that he went to pick you up. Did something happen to him? Did someone bully you? Master, don't rub my head like that. I'm not a child anymore. Sima Yue protested softly. Now, he was no longer as cold as when they first met. Now, it seemed that after being with her dad for a long time, his nature was slowly recovering. Feng Zhixing smiled, but he didn't take his hand back. Instead, he rubbed her head twice before putting it down. He reminded her, don't run around here. The Lu family is still quite powerful. If you meet their ancestors, you may not even have the chance to open the little realm. I know. Sima Yue nodded. A super family like the Lu family would definitely have some old monsters. If she didn't have time to open the little realm and let the Feng people out, it would be dangerous. But Feng Xiang couldn't always be by her side. That way, she wouldn't be able to use many methods. But, no matter how careful she was still taken advantage of. She had been in the 6th state for a few days and had been running around with Feng Zhixing and Sima Lu Xian. She did find some abnormalities in the Lu family. But with the Yang family's advance, the Lu family was even more careful. They couldn't find anything in a short time. It was already not easy for Sima Lu Xian and the others to find out about the Lu family. After a period of no progress, Sima Yue felt that they could change the method. Father, Master, we can't find anything by investigating like this. The dead bodies are too hidden. If they don't make a move, we can't get any evidence. She said. What method do you have? Feng Zhixing asked. Every time he saw her like this, he knew that she had a bad idea again. Tell me, what do you want to do? Sima Lu Xian frowned and stared at her, afraid that she would say something bad. Sima Yue smiled at him, shrank behind Feng Zhixing, and said, Well, isn't Northern Du Hao still with me? If the Northern Du family knows that their young master is dead, they probably won't be so silent. They will definitely take action. At that time, we will be able to determine whether it is the Lu family or not. This is a good idea. But it's too dangerous for you. Feng Zhixing said. Give him to me, I'll deal with him. Sima Lu Xian stretched out his hand and said unquestionably. Sima Yue shrank her neck. Father, Master, I'm not good at investigating information, but I'm better at killing people. So, I'll kill him and you can investigate. Chapter 1705. I'll kill, and you guys will investigate. This division of labor is quite appropriate. But Sima Lu Xian refused without thinking. No. Give him to me and I'll kill him. Father, you have so many people with you. If anything happens, they will be in danger too. Sima Yue said, I am different. I will be fine. That won't do. Sima Lu Xian still disagreed. As long as there was even a little danger, that was not acceptable. Master. Sima Yue turned to Feng Zhixing for help. Although Feng Zhixing was also worried about Sima Yue's safety, he was more rational than Sima Lu Xian, so he looked at the problem more objectively. Alright, you're already so old. Don't cause trouble. Look at how you scared Yue. He glared at Sima Lu Xian. Yue is more suitable for this than you. You're the one who's causing trouble. Do you know how dangerous this matter is? Are you so relieved to let her do it? Sima Lu Xian said with dissatisfaction. She did a better job than you, Feng Zhixing said. She has the protection of the Feng people. Do you? Will the Feng people follow you? Can you guarantee that those people will follow you at all times? If the Northern Du clan's people found an opportunity, would those people definitely be by your side? If something happens to you, what will happen to Caro? What about Yue? Sima Lu Xian's face was so dark that it could drip water. When Sima Yue saw this, she stepped forward and held his hand, saying, Father, don't worry. Ling Yu put something beside me, so my life won't be in danger. If Auntie Xiang and the others didn't come out in time, nothing would have happened to me. After she said that, Sima Lu Xian's expression became better. Finally, under the combined attacks of the master and disciple, he agreed. Sima Yue was a woman of action. Since she had decided, she would do it. She first separated from Sima Lu Xian and the others, found a remote place, and brought Northern Du Hao out. At this time, Northern Du Hao was lying on the ground with his whole body trapped. Only his mouth could move. Sima Yue walked to Northern Du Hao's side. Seeing his jade-like skin, she clicked her tongue and sighed. I didn't expect you to be so nourished inside. Your skin is even better now. Sima Yue, you want to kill me? Northern Du Hao smiled coldly. But you don't dare. Don't dare? Why wouldn't I dare? Sima Yue squatted beside him and said with a smile. Do you think that I would be afraid of your Northern Du family? Is that why I haven't killed you yet? I'm the young master of the Yin family. Who do you think you are? How dare you kill me? Aren't you afraid that my hidden clan will exterminate your family? As Northern Du Hao spoke, he tried to think of a way to escape. But no matter what it was useless when his body was bound. Are you thinking of how to contact them? Sima Yue saw through his thoughts and told him kindly, it's useless. Northern Du Hao didn't believe it. But when he felt that his aura wasn't released, his heart sank. What did she mean by being so confident? Previously, when he was in the spirit pagoda, he couldn't contact the outside world. Now that he was outside, why couldn't he contact them? This is my territory. Of course you can't contact them, Sima Yuyue said. But if you die here, they will know. Northern Duhao then realized that something was wrong. He shouted in disbelief, domain. We're in a domain. You guessed right. It's a pity that there's no reward, Sima Yuyue said. Before you die, do you plan to share the matter of your Northern Du family refining the undead? Hee, don't even think about knowing. I won't say it even if I die. Yeah, I guessed it too. So I don't have much hope. Sima Yuyue shrugged and said indifferently. I have a secret technique on me. If you kill me, everyone in the family will see the scene of my death. At that time, they will definitely trample your Sima family and Paramount Valley to the ground. Northern Duhao threatened. Who said that I'm going to kill you? Sima Yuyue said as she changed her appearance. A complete stranger appeared in front of him. Do you recognize this face? Northern Duhao looked at the unfamiliar face and his expression became worse. The secret clan doesn't seem to be too peaceful recently. I wonder if they will have the energy to avenge you after you die. If they let the Lu family do it, will they use the undead? Sima Yuyue touched her chin. Oh, probably not. I think they will let the Lu family deal with me first. Then, when they realize that the Lu family can't do it, they will send the undead. As long as they dare to use the undead, I will dare to fight back. The more she said, the colder Northern Duhao's heart became. She had calculated every step well. You're so confident that you can escape the Lu family's pursuit. That's my problem. You don't have to worry about it. Why are you telling me this? I'm letting you go in peace. I know that you won't be lonely down there. Someone will come looking for you. However, the ghost realm is so big. I don't know if you will meet. However, souls don't have memories of their previous lives. Even if you meet, you won't recognize each other. Sima Yuyue said kindly. You bitch. You will definitely die miserably. I will wait for you down there. Northern Duhao glared at her fiercely. Did you forget that my mother is the princess of the ghost clan? Even if I go down there, I'll be better off than you. Sima Yuyue said infuriatingly, alright, I've said so much nonsense to you. Actually, I just want to see you in pain and despair. Who told you to kill me for a woman? I'm very vengeful. After saying that, she took out a long sword and stabbed it into his heart. Pooh, the sound of the dagger piercing into the body was particularly clear. Northern Duhao widened his eyes and stared at her fiercely until he died. These eyes really make people uncomfortable. She got up and condensed a flame, burning Northern Duhao's body to ashes. When he was completely dead, a ray of light flew out from his body and quickly disappeared. In the sky above the Northern Du family, there was a sudden change in space. The people of the Northern Du family all ran out and looked at the scene that appeared in the sky. A strange man held a dagger and ruthlessly stabbed it into Northern Duhao's chest. He even burned his body to ashes. In the end, the scene was filled with raging flames. Clan head, clan head. An old man rushed over, young clan head's life tablet is broken. Clan head Northern Du's body couldn't help but tremble. He clenched his fists, go and investigate. You must find out who killed Hao. Clan head, looking at the background, it seems to be near the Lu family. Someone said. Clan head, the Ouyang family and Xianxiu family have been moving a lot recently. Our current situation is not optimistic. Since it's near the Lu family, let the Lu family find that person and kill him. Clan head Northern Du took a few deep breaths and said, that's the only way. Order the Lu family to catch this person and bring him back. I want to personally avenge Hao. If they can't find this person, let them bring their heads to see me. Chapter 1706. Sima Yu looked at the people who surrounded her and pursed her lips, saying, you guys are really slow. I've been waiting for you for days. It had been 7 or 8 days since she killed Northern Duhao, and these people had only just found her. She wondered if she had hidden herself too well. She also went to the city for a stroll. Her exposure rate was quite high, so these people's efficiency was too low. Looks like you can't escape death. That person said in a muffled voice. Obviously, he had changed his voice. You guys don't need to pretend anymore. I know you guys are from the Lu clan and came to avenge Northern Duhao. Sima Yue said. Since you know, then surrender obediently and confess to your crimes with us. Are you stupid? Sima Yue glanced at him. If someone wants to kill you, would you obediently follow them? Besides, we still don't know who will die and who will live. Shameless boasting. There were more than 10 of them, so how could they not deal with her alone? Sima Yue smiled. Me make it quick. After saying that, she released her domain and enveloped the entire area. Domain. Those people cried out in shock. You should have sent someone with a domain to kill me. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she retreated to the back and me came out from her hand. Very quickly, the entire territory was filled with black smoke. Those people only had time to let out a scream before they shut their mouths forever and turned into eerie white bones. By the time the black fog took human form, there were only rows of white bones left on the ground. Sima Yue looked at the white bones and sighed. Every time I see you use this move, I feel lucky that you didn't use it on me. Me rolled his eyes. Did I not use this method to deal with you? You were the one who used Little Black to scare me. When they were in Ghost City, wasn't it restrained by Xiao He, so it had no choice but to recognize her as its master? Thinking about how powerful he was, yet he had to follow such a weak person and be suppressed by a useless puppy that only knew how to eat, tears streamed down his face. Xiao He is not bad. Sima Yue praised. Me you're amazing too. Let's go find a place to cultivate. Many of those people from the Lu family should be here soon. She went to find a valley with good scenery to cultivate. This place was not too close to the scene of the incident, making people think that she had escaped from that place and was not waiting for others. However, it wasn't too far away. At the very least, he could find her if he put in a little effort. She cultivated in the valley for 2 days before those people came looking for her. This time, there were twice as many people as last time. She roughly estimated that there were at least 30 to 40 people. Sima Yue did not say much and immediately released Me to fight against 100 people. The Lu family. Family head, the people we sent to assassinate him have all been killed. Just like last time, their life tablets all shattered at the same time. Did you see anything? Family head Lu asked. No, the scene before they died was complete darkness, as if they were in a black fog. Black fog? Yes. That black fog is a bit strange. I don't think it's something from the human world. Family head Lu was shocked. Could it be, Patriarch, do we still need to send more people? Of course. The Northern Du family gave us a death order. If this matter is not handled well, the Lu family can forget about surviving in the 6th state. Family head Lu said hatefully. It's only 50 or 60 people. My Lu family can still afford it. Send another 50 people and 2 high-level Paragon-level experts. Yes, family head. A moment later, more than 50 experts set off from the Lu family, ready to take down that arrogant kid in one fell swoop. However, the Lu family waited for a few days and the news that came back was that those people were all dead. And the situation was the same as before. They all died at the same time. This kind of situation happened again and again. The Lu family could not remain calm. In just a dozen days, they had lost more than 100 people. No matter how many people they had, they could not afford to die like this. Family head, should we use that? The great elder asked. You mean? Family head Lu was a bit moved. The scene that came back this time was the same. They all died in the black fog. We also saw the scene before they died. That black fog is definitely not something from the human world. I suspect that it's something from the ghost world. The Great Elder said, since it's something from the ghost world, using that thing to deal with it will give us an advantage. Family head Lou was a bit shaken. After thinking about it again and again, he still rejected this suggestion. The Young family's example is in front of us. We must be cautious. Once we are discovered, we may end up in the same situation. But, didn't the higher-ups give this to us so that we can work for them? The Great Elder did not want to give up. As long as those people are careful, there won't be a problem. Those people were all personally trained by the Great Elder. Now that they died like this, his heart ached. No. Send more people. This time, all of them are high-level paragon level. I don't believe that person has the ability to reach the heavens. Family head Lou said. Seeing his insistence, the Great Elder could not say anything more. But he was very angry, so he personally brought 100 people over. He did not expect that when he reached the valley, he would see Sima Yuyue leisurely roasting meat by the lake. There are a lot of people this time. Sima Yuyue looked at the people surrounding the valley. TSK, this Lu family was really generous. Fiercely bit off a piece of meat from the chicken thigh. You have so many people. Are you afraid that you can't deal with these people? I thought you would want to deal with them alone. Sima Yuyue said, we can't let Aunt Xiang and the rest come out yet. So, you need to continue. Benefits. Stretched out his hand. The other hand was still gnawing on the chicken thigh. You go. When you come back, I'll make 5 beggars' chickens for you. 10. Counter-offered. 7. 9. 8. Sima Yuyue glared at him, otherwise, there won't be any. Alright, 8 it is. Snorted, every time you use food to lure us to work for you. The price you pay is too easy. Sima Yuyue smiled, it doesn't matter if it's easy or not, as long as it's useful. This time, we don't have to kill all of them. Just leave a few of them behind. The Great Elder of the Lu family saw Sima Yuyue and eating and chatting so calmly. He was so angry that his beard was about to fly up. Who are you? He shouted. The person who wants your lives. After finished speaking, he turned into a thick black fog and spread in the valley. As expected, it's not something from the human world. The Great Elder shouted, but did not give them more time. He directly surrounded those people. After a moment, the black fog retreated and there were dozens of white bones in the valley. What are you? The Great Elder saw those white bones and was so scared that his teeth were trembling. Chapter 1707. Sima Yuyue looked at the cowardly Lu family head elder and wondered how he became the head elder. Shouldn't people like them be able to remain calm in the face of danger and face death with equanimity? She didn't know that the head elder of the Lu family was able to sit in this position not because of his own ability, but because of his identity. His ability and strength couldn't be compared to others, so naturally, his temperament was also far worse. To put it bluntly, he was a coward who was afraid of death. Now that he saw that the people he brought were all dead, his life was also threatened. Naturally, he was terrified. When heard him calling himself something, he was furious. He leaped up and flew to his side. After a round, the 2 people closest to him had also turned into white bones. You're not from the mortal realm. Who are you? Sima Yuyue stood up and released the aura of the ghost race. She laughed and said, I just wanted to take a walk around the human world in peace. I didn't expect the Lu family to come here to die. If I don't fulfill your wishes, how can I live up to your wishes of dying? You really are from the ghost clan. The Great Elder snorted coldly. Seeing that she was from the ghost clan, he did not panic. Don't think that you can roam the mortal world with this. TSK, I relied on it to travel in the human realm. What can you do about it? Sima Yue sneered. Me air, the barbecued meat is getting cold. Aren't you going to finish it? I'm coming. Me air's figure flashed as he finished off another one. Humph, do you think you're the only one from the ghost realm? Tear them apart. The great elder waved his hand, and over 100 corpses appeared around him. Sima Yue smirked. Great elder of the Lu family, I remember that only the Yang family has these corpses, right? How come your Lu family has one too? Could it be that you are the mastermind behind this? Humph, although you are going to die here today, don't think that you will get any answers from me. The great elder said. Oh, I know. You're just like the Yang family. You're just someone else's chess piece. Let me guess, it's the Northern Du clan, right? Is this Yang clan also hiding in the Northern Du clan? Sima Yue said meaningfully, I really didn't expect that the Northern Du clan, as a hidden clan, would be so shocking when they appear. Who said it was the Northern Du clan? If you don't know, then don't speak without thinking. Great Elder seemed to feel that something was wrong and denied. Speak without thinking? I killed the young master of the Northern Du clan a step before, and you guys followed right after. You're telling me that this is a coincidence? Do you think I will believe you? Sima Yue said. You did it on purpose? Of course it was done on purpose. It was to draw out the undead and the Northern Du clan behind you. I didn't expect you to fall for it so easily, Sima Yue said. Since you already know, then all the more we can't let you live. The great elder shouted, everyone, attack together. Me air, it's done. Sima Yue sat back down and continued to roast the meat. Great Elder Lu was furious. He ordered the corpses to kill Sima Yue, but the corpses did not move. These corpses don't listen to you. Sima Yue said, Me air, just kill those people. You don't have to care about these corpses. Me air nodded and directly attacked Great Elder Lu and the others. Great Elder Lu did not understand why these corpses did not listen to his orders. Before he died, he glanced at Sima Yue. When he saw Sima Yue, who had changed back to her original appearance and was still smiling at him, he realized that they had been set up by Sima Yue. And her goal was the Northern Du clan behind them. At this moment, they remembered that Northern Du Hao's disappearance was related to Sima Yue. How could he suddenly appear now and be killed near the Lu clan? This was originally a very simple plot, but they had overlooked it. Me air quickly settled everyone. Sima Yue kept all the corpses into the spirit pagoda. Beggar's chicken. Me air came back and stared at her, not allowing her to go back on her words. Can't you be as obedient as Little Roar? Sima Yue rolled her eyes at him, but she still accepted her fate and started to cook the beggar's chicken. Little Roar is stupid. Me air squatted at the side and looked at her. When he mentioned Little Roar, his words were full of contempt. Last time at the Lost Island, Sima Yue said that she would cook delicious food for him after she finished her task. In the end, she tricked the little guy. He was not that stupid. At this time, she had to fulfill her promise. It's the same if you cook 8 or 10. Why don't you cook 10 for me? He requested. Give an inch and you want a mile. Although Sima Yue said so, she thought that he had indeed put in a lot of effort these few days, so she agreed and took out 2 more chickens to marinate. After she had cooked 10 beggars' chicken for Me air, they left the valley and returned to the place where Sima Lu Xian and Feng Zhixing were staying. Are you okay? Sima Lu Xian asked. Sima Yue smiled and shook her head. Me air is here. Is it done? Feng Zhixing asked. It's all done. I also got the evidence. Sima Yue took out a shadow stone and put it on the table. After Sima Lu Xian injected his spiritual power, a ray of light came out of the stone and reflected a picture in the air. It was the scene of Sima Yue and the Lu family's elder confronting each other. How did you get this? Sima Yue told them everything that happened after she killed Northern Du Hao. When they heard that the Northern Du clan had sent over 200 assassins to kill her, the hearts of the father and master clenched. When they heard that Mage had dealt with them all by himself, the two of them were extremely surprised. I didn't expect Mage to be so powerful. Sima Lu Xian had seen Mage's ability before, but he didn't expect him to be so powerful that he could kill so many masters alone. Since we have this now, the Northern Du family won't be able to escape this time. Feng Zhixing smiled. Yuyue, leave the rest to us. Sima Yuyue knew that they had their own methods. Speaking of which, she was not familiar with these at all and didn't want to take over. She had always lacked interest in these rites and worldly affairs. So she didn't intend to intervene in the rest of the matter and just let her master and father do it. Half a month later, the Lu family received a gift. It was a simple wooden box with a shadow stone in it. The gatekeeper felt a little strange. After injecting his spiritual power, the last scene of the Lu family's elder before his death appeared in front of everyone. Because it was at the door and facing the street, this scene was also seen by the people on the street. A person hurriedly ran out of the gate and the guards slapped him, "Bastard." After that, he snatched the shadow stone and hurriedly ran back, taking this to find the patriarch. At the same time, in many other cities, this scene appeared in places where people gathered. In an instant, everyone in the inner region knew that the Yang family was hiding in the Northern Du family. The Northern Du family was the mastermind behind the undead incident, and the Lu family was their new chess piece. Chapter 1708. This news shook the entire inner circle. The matter of the undead was a pain for many factions because many of their people had been killed and turned into undead. Some of their subordinate cities had been massacred and their blood sucked dry. This was also one of the reasons why the Yang family was besieged by so many people. However, there was still no news of the mastermind behind him. The Yang family had also gone into hiding and no one knew where they were. Things seemed calm recently, but in fact, this matter had not been resolved yet. Everyone's hearts were hanging in suspense. Now, they finally knew that the mastermind behind the entire matter was the Northern Du clan. Everyone was shocked and surprised. How could the hidden clan, who rarely showed themselves on the streets, do such a thing? When the Northern Du clan found out about this matter, they were angered to death. He only asked the Lu family to kill that person. How did it end up like this? Someone must have deliberately set this up. Could it be Sima Yuyue? Very likely. Back then, we suspected that Sima Yuyue had something to do with young master's disappearance. Now, it seems like who else could have killed young master other than her? Only she knows that the corpses are related to us. Sima Yuyue. The members of the Northern Du clan gnashed their teeth in anger. If he had known earlier, he would not have cared about the Feng people and killed her directly. Then he wouldn't have ended up like this. Now that Ouyang clan and Xianqiu clan are pressuring us step by step, Donglai clan suddenly fell out with us. Now that this matter has come out, our situation has become even more difficult. I don't know what's wrong with the Donglai clan. They knew that Sima Yuyue had killed their genius, but they didn't do anything. Is he really afraid of Sima Yuyue? They are not afraid of Sima Yuyue. They are afraid of the Feng people and the birds. Sima Yuyue is our nemesis. Patriarch, what should we do now? Now that things have come to this, we don't have to hide anymore. Since they all know that the undead are related to us, we will use them generously. I don't believe that with the power of the undead, we can't fight against Xianqiu and the rest. I'm just afraid that it won't be so easy now. Family head, let me kill Sima Yuyue. I can't take this lying down. Patriarch, me too. Please allow me to go with you. That's right, Patriarch. We can't just let this go. We must make Sima Yuyue pay the price. Enough, what time is it now? If those forces knew that we were the ones who caused the corpses, they would definitely come looking for trouble. We're already having a hard time dealing with Ouyang and Xianqiu. How would we have the energy to deal with Sima Yuyue? Are we going to let her go just like that? Once this is over, we'll have plenty of time to deal with her. If she was an ordinary person, it would be fine. He could just send a few people to deal with her. However, she had such a strong background and had so many experts protecting her. It would not be easy to touch her. Especially now that their situation was not optimistic. Just like that, the Northern Du family temporarily let Sima Yue off because they really could not spare any energy to deal with her. The position of the Northern Du clan was known to very few outside forces, so even if this matter was exposed, they were not immediately affected. However, the Liu family of the Sixth State was not so lucky. How could the old enemy of the Liu family, the Wang family, let go of such a good opportunity? Therefore, they quickly gathered a group of people and came to crusade against the Liu family in the name of eliminating evil. It was said that the one who knew you the best was not yourself, but your enemy. Therefore, the Wang clan knew exactly how many masters and forces the Liu clan had. Naturally, the number of people they brought would be more, not less. In addition, with the help of those who hated the corpses, the Liu family naturally could not resist. Sima Yue heard that the two sides fought for 10 days and 10 nights. The entire city was destroyed, and the defense array did not work. Countless people died. Not only the Liu family, but the people who went to attack also did not end up well. In Feng Zhixing's words, corpses were everywhere. It was too horrible to look at. However, the people who were alive were happy. There was no time to mourn the dead. They were already dividing the Liu family's property. The speed was so fast that she was dumbfounded. She could not help but sigh, human nature, master, why didn't you take the people of the Integral Moon Palace to join in? What's there to join in? Even if we go, we will only get some small profits, and we will be treated as cannon fodder by those big families. I'm not that stupid. Feng Zhixing was very rational. He took the people of the Integral Moon Palace to hide and watch the fun from afar. At this time, whoever went up would be looking for death. Sima Lu Xian also understood. Therefore, as the initiators of this matter, they all became spectators in the end. Sima Yue felt pity for the Integral Moon Palace. The Sima family was far away from here. Anyway, they were too far away from the 64th state to get some benefits. However, she knew that the forces of the Integral Moon Palace were also spread throughout the entire inner region. As long as they intervened, they would definitely get a share of the pie. You have been too high profile recently. I have to keep a low profile. Feng Zhixing smiled. Besides, we are not here to investigate this matter for any benefits. We just want to solve the problem of the corpses so that it will no longer bother you. Sima Yue was moved. Thank you, master. I'm your master. What are you thanking me for? Feng Zhixing smiled and rubbed her head, but Sima Lu Xian slapped him away. Don't touch me. Sima Lu Xian glared at him. Stingy. Feng Zhixing replied to him, but he still obediently took his hand back. Since the Liu family's matter has been resolved, let's prepare to go back to the family. Sima Yue said. What about the Northern Du family? I received news from Xian Qiu 2 days ago that the Northern Du family was originally suppressed by the Ouyang family and the Xian Qiu family. Northern Du's ally, the Eastern Lai family, suddenly interrupted their cooperation. Although they did not help the Xian Qiu family, this is enough to hit the Northern Du family. Even if they have the help of the corpses, the Xian Qiu family has already contacted various forces, using this as an excuse to prepare for the final crusade against the Northern Du family. Sima Yue said, so, we don't need to worry about the Northern Du family. Someone will deal with them. Well, a just cause enjoys abundant support, an unjust cause finds little support. The Northern Du family has violated the ethics of heaven by doing this. Naturally, someone will deal with them. Sima Lu Xian nodded. Hey, you guys go back. I still want to watch the fun. Feng Zhixing said. Master, what are you going to do? Of course, I'm going to collect benefits. My Integral Moon Palace has never returned empty-handed. Feng Zhixing said, I didn't go before because I didn't want to be cannon fodder. Now, it's time to take action. 3 black lines slid down Sima Yoyue's forehead. She thought he would really give up such a good opportunity. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.